the maximum level expert. She thrives in interstellar riches. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 826, Fox Kiki's Little Sister 2. When Ukiki heard this, he felt a sense of crisis. In fact, he didn't want Wen Jiu to have contact with the little sister. One was that the little sister had a very strange and arrogant temper. The other was that he was worried that another fox would compete with him. He was already the one with the lowest status. If the little sister squeezed in, he would really have to go back to his hometown crying. He was still dreaming of returning home in glory. How could he be pissed off by the little sister? Wait, having said that, the little sister's talent was not higher than his, and she was not as smart as him. At most, she had some cleverness of the Fox clan. So in terms of pleasing Wen Jiu, the little sister could never compare with him. Thinking of this, he calmed down immediately. Oh, we foxes are just naturally good at charm and illusion. Not every fox has a talent for cooking. Ukiki flicked her tail and then raised her chin with a little pride. Anyway, as far as I know, I'm definitely the fox fairy who can cook the best. He did not directly answer Wen Jiu's question because he did not know whether the little sister had a talent for cooking, so he used a euphemism. After the words fell, the other party nodded thoughtfully. Okay, I'll reply to Lin Qihai first. Seeing that Wen Jiu seemed to have given up the idea, the big stone in his heart finally fell to the ground. Anyway, there can only be one fox in this family. He must guard it and not let the little sister squeeze in. After a while, Wen Jiu spoke. I have communicated with Sister Qihai, and I asked her to tear off the talisman temporarily so that your little sister can go for help. If it was another little monster, she would at most give it a way out. But it was such a coincidence that the monster harassing Lin Qihai was Ukiki's sister. As Ukiki's master, she naturally had to help. But she didn't know why Ukiki didn't seem to want to contact the little sister. Could it be that they didn't have a good relationship? But if they really didn't have a good relationship, Ukiki would definitely say it out loud. Thinking of this, Wen Jiu looked at Ukiki and said, by the way, what's your little sister's name? How was your relationship with her before? She now had a bold idea, but she didn't know if it could be realized. If Ukiki didn't have a good relationship with the little sister, then she planned to put this idea aside for the time being. Her name is Ubaba. She's my little sister from the same tribe. Ukiki answered her very depressedly. The relationship is just like that, not good or bad, not salty or bland. The relationship between monsters is just like that between people. They also have relatives, friends, and enemies. And the relationship between him and Ubaba can only be regarded as acquaintances of the same tribe. In human terms, they are distant relatives. But the number of monsters is far less than that of humans, so monsters know each other. As for whether they can have a deep friendship, it all depends on their own wishes. He had contact with Ubaba before, and the other party's nature was not bad, but it was too easy to take advantage of others. He felt that with Ubaba's personality, it would be difficult for him to survive in the complex human society, so he didn't want him to stay. Ukiki was still in a trance and suddenly heard Wen Jiu say, Ubaba, the naming method of your fox tribe is really simple and rough. We are named according to the order of cultivation into spirits. He felt a little aggrieved when he heard this, so before we cultivated into spirits, we were called by nicknames. He also felt that the name Ukiki was too simple before, but the fox elders all named according to this rule. As a junior, he couldn't say anything, so he could only be obedient and happy to get the big name. After all, calling a simple and rough big name is better than calling an embarrassing nickname. Hearing this, Wen Jiu's eyes widened slightly. Does it mean that before you, only 6 foxes in your fox tribe had cultivated into spirits? She had heard her master say that the path of cultivation for demons was very difficult, but she really didn't expect it to be so difficult. Oh, no, that's not the case. Ukiki thought carefully. Some predecessors became immortals and threw away their worldly names. When he said this, Wen Jiu understood. So that's the case. then the number of demons should be quite large, right? Oh, compared to humans, it must be pitifully small. He didn't realize what the other party wanted to do at this time, but if you really talk about it, the number is not small. Although the path of cultivation for demons is difficult and the time required is quite long, but the lifespan of those who cultivate into spirits increases exponentially, and with the accumulation of time and space, the number of their demon tribe is really not small. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled with understanding. That's fine. Let's continue talking about your sister. She didn't rush to say what she thought, because she still needed to learn more about it. The most important thing at the moment is to deal with Hubaba, so that he will not continue to harass poor Lin Qi. Sister Qi is willing to cooperate with us to contact Hubaba. She relayed the message sent by Lin Qi. So do you have anything to tell Hubaba? Hearing this, Hukiki first pondered for a moment, and then slowly said, I don't have anything to tell her for the time being, but can't we just send her back? He really didn't want to see Hubaba, nor did he want the other party to come to him for help. Anyway, Lin Qi knew the planetary coordinates of their hometown, so why couldn't he send Hubaba back and put an end to it? It's possible, but it's a bit troublesome. Wen Jiu analyzed calmly, because your native planet has no federal routes, so if you want to go there, you have to charter an interstellar spaceship yourself. In addition, you have to find an experienced person to lead the way, to avoid problems during the automatic driving. It's very easy to have unexpected situations on a trip like this without a federal route. She also thought about asking Lin Qi to send Hubaba home, but it was too troublesome to do so, and the financial resources she would have to spend were unacceptable. It doesn't cost much to buy a coach-class interstellar spaceship ticket, but if you want to charter a special interstellar spaceship, it will cost at least millions of star coins. Besides, Hubaba is not related to her, so it's good enough that she is willing to help solve the problem. It's impossible to ask her to pay millions of star coins. Oh, is it so troublesome? Hukiki is still trying to integrate into human society. He doesn't know that there are so many things to pay for interstellar travel. After saying this, Zikingayu, who had been watching the fun, nodded and said, yes, so let's try another way. The cost of sending your sister back home is too high. He has been with Wen Jiu for a long time and has successfully changed his habit of spending money lavishly. This is the first update of the day, please check it out. Little Angels 030. Chapter 827. Fox Kiki's Little Sister 3. After that, Wen Jiu communicated with Lin Qi for a while, and then he turned off the light screen panel and communicated with his friends. Everyone agreed that the cost of sending Hubaba back to his hometown was too high, so they decisively abandoned this plan. After much discussion, it was Hukiki who took the initiative to give in and suggested that Lin Qi send Hubaba over. Anyway, Master will take me back to my hometown in the future. Hukiki lay on the sofa dejectedly, and even his wagging tail drooped down. Then you can take Hubaba back with you. Although he didn't want Hubaba to come to him, there was no other plan available at the moment. Lin Qi was just an innocent person implicated, and he couldn't let him take care of Hubaba. After the words fell, Wen Jiu smiled and stroked his soft fur. Let's talk about going back to your hometown after Taoiao's business situation stabilizes. As for Hubaba, I will let Lin Qi send her to planet 3047 first. But you also know that I don't accept freeloaders, so she will still have to work after she comes. If she has a talent for cooking, you can take her and let her be a kitchen helper. If she doesn't have this talent, she can do things like purchasing and delivering meals. Although Hubaba has not come to planet 3047, she has been clearly arranged. After discussing the solution to this matter, Wen Jiu got up and went to 903 next door. She planned to make an appointment with Ziziu to go to the villa to take a look when the other party was free. Buying a house is not a trivial matter. She always has to consider it carefully and check it on the spot. Oh, you finally remembered me? Ziziu had just finished a video conference. I thought you were not going to come to see me. Hearing this, Wen Jiu chuckled. What made you have such a misunderstanding? You are my partner after all. Even if I don't buy a house, I will still come to see you on weekdays. She has been very busy recently and has no time to ask about the situation of AOS Pharmaceuticals, but Zizio is still very reliable and sends her messages every day. Sometimes he sends her the progress of drug research and development, and sometimes he sends her the sales situation of drugs. In short, the other party has always treated her with an equal attitude and will not treat her like a child like some adults. For this reason alone, she is very willing to cooperate with Zizio for a long time. I'm not joking. The other party happily brought a cup of milk tea over. Try it. This is the new peach milk tea from Fanhua Pavilion. After speaking, Wen Jiu raised his eyebrows slightly and then took the cup of milk tea. Taoiao attracted many customers as soon as it opened. The current number of members has reached 10,000, which shows how popular it is. In this way, it will naturally be remembered by peers. For example, the 3 signature desserts launched by Taoiao, peach blossom cake, spring peach milk tea and peach pudding, have long been secretly imitated by peers. However, the steps of making peach blossom cake are quite complicated, and ordinary people cannot learn it just by watching and tasting. Peach pudding is also difficult to imitate. Therefore, some peers put their minds on spring peach milk tea. I remember that Fanhua Pavilion is also a big brand. Why are you planning to take over a small shop like Taoiao? When Jiu looked at the milk tea in his hand. From the packaging point of view, it is quite good. The light pink cup is tied with a milky green ribbon, and there is a breath of spring just by looking at it. There are also blooming peach flowers printed on the front, and the 3 characters of Fanhua Pavilion written in a brush. Hearing this, Zizio shrugged indifferently. Businessmen are not all like this. Of course they will do it if there is a profit to be made. Your Taoiao has robbed many of their customers not long after it opened, so it's no wonder that they set their sights on your desserts. He has been involved in the family business for a long time, and now he is in charge of AOS medicine, and has seen a lot of disputes in the business world. For example, the low-level physical recovery potion that Wen Jiu improved earlier. There have always been people who want to crack the formula. But the potion formula is much more confidential than the food formula. Even if those people have the will and ability, they can't figure out the formula. That's true. Wen Jiu just took a sip of peach milk tea and immediately frowned because of the sweetness. Oh my god. This candy doesn't need star coins, right? She quickly put down the milk tea in her hand, picked up the cold water, and took a big sip, which relieved the sweetness in her mouth. This peach milk tea has a strong milky taste, but the ratio of sugar to peach juice is too high. With the mentality of knowing yourself and the enemy, she could win every battle and endure the discomfort, and took another sip of milk tea. After saying that, Zizio couldn't help showing a hint of surprise. You can taste this? I just think it tastes too sweet, not as refreshing as Chunteo fresh milk tea. After all, he is an investor of Taoiao, and he is also in charge of Donghu shopping mall, so he naturally has to pay attention to the market trend at all times. Therefore, when his assistant found out that Fanhua Pavilion launched peach milk tea, he quickly sent someone to do customer research and taste evaluation, and bought 2 cups to send to him. At first, he was worried whether Wen Jiu's formula had been cracked, but when he took a sip, he knew that he was really worrying too much. It's not that peach milk tea is so bad, but compared with Chunteo fresh milk tea, it is really a world of difference. Of course I can taste the difference. After all, there are only a few ingredients. Wen Jiu answered as he savored the tea carefully. Although there is no secret recipe to making spring peach milk tea, the proportions of the various ingredients are difficult to imitate. The peach milk tea tastes greasy sweet right at the beginning. Isn't it because too much syrup is added? And the peach flavor is too strong, covering up the more delicious milk flavor, which is because too much peach juice is added. She explained all the reasons, and Fazio was more impressed. The other party clicked on the light screen panel and said, "You have a really good tongue. You are worthy of being a good seedling in the catering industry. Since you know the plan, I won't say much. Well, it's inevitable that there will be people imitating in business, as long as there is no insider selling the formula." Wen Jiu put down the milk tea calmly, "But even if they get the formula, it doesn't matter. I won't just guard a few formulas as treasures. If you have the ability, just steal all my formulas." She had expected this to happen, So after launching Chunteo fresh milk tea, she also made several different drinks for customers to choose from. As for those colleagues who want to learn, let them learn and see if they learn faster or she launches new products faster. Hearing this, Zizu nodded in agreement. That's right. I won't interfere with your affairs. Let's take a look at your villa now. He knew why Wen Jiu came here, and naturally he would not delay the other party from doing his business. Today's second update was also delivered on time. Thank you all for your support and love. 030. Chapter 828 Freeman Alliance 1. The two chatted for more than an hour and finally reached a consensus and decided to go to the site to see the house on the weekend. So when Jiu returned to her home and told her friends the news, seeing that no one had any objections, she went back to the bedroom to rest. But just after she came out of the shower, she saw Stephanie sitting on the bed, staring at her with a smile. "What's wrong?" she asked while combing her hair. "Where's Shishi? Didn't she come in with you?" After the words fell, the other party shook her head gently. "Xiaohua is playing games with Xia Banli outside. I sneaked in to talk to you about something." "What is it that requires you to sneak in to talk?" She became interested when she heard this and immediately sat next to Stephanie. The other party still had that smiling look, but just raised her little hand and hooked it at her. Seeing this, she moved closer. Stephanie lowered her voice. "My sister just sent me a message. She suggested that we all apply for a military academy. She also gave the code to the studio and said that she could lend it to you." When Jiu couldn't help but feel a little confused after hearing this. It was fine for Cynthia to be in charge of Stephanie as a sister, but why did she give them advice? She and Cynthia had only met once, and Kaio Shishi and others were not familiar with her. So why did Cynthia give Stephanie advice and bring them along? And about borrowing the studio, she and Cynthia were not familiar with each other, so why did she lend it to her? Although Cynthia was not a bad person, there is a saying that goes, if you show your kindness for no reason, you are either a traitor or a thief. So she would still pay more attention. Little Jiu won't blame me, right? Seeing when Jiu remained silent, Stephanie blinked her emerald green eyes and acted cute. "After all, she is my biological sister, so I just revealed a little." In fact, she didn't tell Cynthia too much, but she told her about her choice when she asked her about compensation 2 days ago. As for Wen Jiu and other people's thoughts, she didn't tell Cynthia at all. Although she and Cynthia are sisters and their relationship has always been very good, she will still help Wen Jiu and others keep little secrets. She knows what to say and what not to say. Hearing this, Wen Jiu immediately denied it and said, "No, I'm just curious about why your sister would make such a suggestion." How did Jiu know that my sister gave a reason? Stephanie pretended to be surprised and opened her mouth wide. She said that the Ria Military Academy is the only military academy that does not belong to a military region. If you study here, you will be freer than in other military academies. But she just gave us a suggestion. She won't interfere too much in this regard. As for the studio, she said that you were very interested in refining weapons before, and since you saved me, she will temporarily lend it to you to improve your skills. The reason given by Cynthia was quite sufficient, and it sounded as if there was no flaw at all. Even when Jiu felt that he was thinking too much after listening to it. So she thought for a moment before saying, "Then tell your sister, I will consider it. As for the studio, I just need it, so thank her first." She had been thinking about what gift to give to Lu Yan before, and after thinking about it, she still felt that making a gift by hand was the best. But she felt that the other party had everything, and she had not thought of what gift to make yet. Fortunately, Cynthia was willing to lend her the studio, so she could find some time to go there and maybe find some inspiration. Great, then tell me when you want to go to the studio." Stephanie clapped her hands happily. "I'll go with you then." The loud clapping of the other party attracted the attention of others, and for a while, 4 heads were standing at the door of the bedroom from top to bottom. Seeing this, Wen Jiu said speechlessly, "You are eavesdropping more and more blatantly now, afraid that I don't know you guys are eavesdropping, right?" We just heard the noise and came to take a look. Zeking guy who is always the first to speak. I just heard the little madman say that he hopes we all choose Ria Military Academy. Why is that? He had been eavesdropping for a long time, but he never showed it. However, the soundproofing of the bedroom was not bad, so he only heard a little bit of the content vaguely. Hearing this, Wen Jiu shrugged helplessly. You all remember Sister Cynthia, right? She was the one who sent such a message to Nini. Then she told the whole story to prevent Zhao Qingyu and the others from misunderstanding Stephanie. So that's the case, but the welfare of military schools without military regions is average. Kyoshi walked directly into the bedroom and sat on the bed. Although there are scholarships to be obtained, it is not as good as other military schools after all. Affiliated military regions are equivalent to sponsorship, whether it is scholarships or extracurricular activities. They are better than military schools without military regions. Although scholarships are nothing to them, extracurricular activities are very important to many students. Because the more extracurricular activities you participate in, the more practical experience you accumulate. When you graduate, there will be an assessment of practical experience. Therefore, many students will actively participate in extracurricular activities to avoid losing to others when participating in military region recruitment. After that, Chu Jian, who was standing at the door of the bedroom, said, "In fact, I have learned about the situation of various military academies these days. Although the Ria Military Academy does not have the sponsorship of the military region, they have cooperated with the Free Alliance, so we don't have to worry about extracurricular activities." Free Alliance? I remember it was a branch of the Mercenary Association. Zeking guy was well aware of all kinds of gossip. If the Ria Military Academy really cooperates with the Free Alliance, then we really don't have to worry about the lack of extracurricular activities. The two of them and Hukiki all stood obediently at the door and did not enter the bedroom like Stephanie and Kyoshi. Although everyone is young, they all have gender awareness. Even if they live under the same roof, they will not break into the girls' room without permission. Seeing this, Wen Jiu walked out of the bedroom and went to the living room so that everyone could sit and chat. She lay down on the sofa and asked with interest, "What is the Freemen's Alliance? I saw it on Xingbo before, but I didn't learn more about it." The Freemen's Alliance is a group of people who are not affiliated with the military zone and spontaneously formed an organization. Chu Jian has read a lot of news about this recently, so he took the initiative to explain it. Their ultimate goal is to be free from the constraints of the military zone, which is very close to the educational philosophy of the Ria Military Academy. Today's third update has also been delivered. Thank you all for your support again. 030. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 829 Free Alliance 2. In fact, there was no Freemen's Union at the beginning. It was just that many retired soldiers set up a mercenary association so that the soldiers could find new jobs after being laid off. Although the military region would arrange new jobs for retired soldiers and issue a subsidy of star coins in the short term, there were still some soldiers who lacked star coins and could only rely on taking some hard-working adventure jobs to support themselves and their families. At first, the job market was mixed, and there were often black incidents of not paying star coins after doing the work or secretly changing the quotation. So a group of retired soldiers took the initiative to stand up, and they spontaneously formed a mercenary association specializing in taking tasks. As long as you join the mercenary association, you can get the greatest protection. At least you don't have to worry about being cheated by the employer when taking the job, and you don't have to worry about working hard to complete the task without getting paid. As more and more people joined the Mercenary Association, several new organizations gradually emerged, and the Freemen's Union was the most famous one. To join them, you must quit your military district household registration. Kyoshi widened her eyes in surprise. If you lose your household registration, won't you be an illegal resident? Chu Jian shook his head slowly. Quitting the military district household registration does not mean becoming an illegal resident, but you can't live on a planet owned by a military district for a long time. Even if you stay for a short time, you must apply for a pass in advance. Brother Harry is right. The military district household registration is not a federal household registration. Zikingai also knows something about this. As long as you have a federal household registration, you are not an illegal resident. If you lose your military district household registration, it will be inconvenient to travel. As long as you are a citizen with a military district household registration, you don't need to apply for a pass to go to various planets. Of course, special planets such as the Imperial Capital Star, Uriel Star, and Dawn Star are exceptions. If you don't have a military district household registration, but only a federal household registration, you must apply for a pass before going to each planet. Hearing this, Wen Jiu asked thoughtfully, so these free men can only live on planets without military districts? That's right, so the whereabouts of these free men are difficult to track. Chu Jian answered her question immediately. After all, there are too few planets without military districts and without power. For example, although Dawn Star has no military district to manage it, it has always used the ancient hereditary system, and has been ruled by the Russo royal family for a long time. Therefore, the whereabouts of the members of the Free Men's Alliance are uncertain. They may live on a planet without power for a long time, or they may live on various planets for a short period of time. In short, most of them will appear only when there are missions, and they are basically nowhere to be found at other times. TSK, it's quite a mysterious organization. Wen Jiu raised his eyebrows slightly. So you just said that you don't have to worry about off-campus activities because the Free Alliance will take on the task, right? After she finished speaking, Zikingai smiled and replied, yes, if the Free Alliance cooperates with the Ria Military Academy, there will definitely be some simple and easy activities. Okay, then I'll think about this Ria Military Academy again. She hasn't decided which military academy to choose, so it would be good to know more about the situation. So she pulled Chu Jian and Zikingai to ask them again, until Hukiki next to her reminded her that it was already early in the morning, and they went back to their rooms to rest. Wen Jiu had another night of dreams, but when she woke up the next morning, she still couldn't remember anything. The picture in her mind dissipated the moment she woke up, and no matter how she thought about it, she couldn't find a fragment. Her only memory was that she had another night of dreams. Jiu, I picked out a set of clothes for you. Kyoshi took out a set of grey and pink sportswear from the closet. I bought this when I group ordered last time. I think it's especially suitable for you. After the other party finished speaking, he handed the clothes over and watched her put on the clothes with a smile on her face. Then Stephanie pushed the door open and pulled her directly to the dressing table. Little Jiu is wearing sportswear today, the other party said, while applying skincare products on her face. Then I'll put on a lighter makeup for you. I guarantee it will match your sportswear perfectly. Hearing this, Wen Jiu could only nod his head resignedly. There was no way she spoiled them. Since Kyoshi and Stephanie reconciled, the two found a common hobby, which was to do everything possible to dress her up together. Either find an excuse to say that you want to try new cosmetics, or find a reason to say that you bought new clothes for her. In short, they have only one purpose, which is to let her be a model, to satisfy their desire to dress up. Wen Jiu's skin color is getting whiter and whiter, and she is still young, so she doesn't even need foundation. So Stephanie picked up the eyebrow pencil and gently outlined her eyebrows. They were long and thin, slightly upturned, with a sharpness that was not suitable for her age. Fortunately, she often smiled, so this sharpness was not obvious. But every time people saw her, they always wondered whether the sharpness hidden by her would be revealed as she got older. Then Stephanie picked up a lipstick, dipped a little with the lip brush, and lightly applied a layer on her lips. It was as red as a rose but not abrupt, adding an aura different from that of her peers. As for eye makeup, blush, highlights, etc., Stephanie didn't plan to put them on at all. On the one hand, it was because Wen Jiu was not used to it, and on the other hand, she was not old enough and didn't need to put on such a comprehensive makeup. Okay, Just curl your hair against Stephanie said, and picked up the curling iron. But Kyoshi frowned and rushed in front of her. Nini, it's my turn to do Jiu's hair today. Hearing this, she pretended to blink innocently. Really? But didn't you braid Jiu's hair yesterday? That's because Jiu's hair was loose, so I rebraided it for Jiu. The other party also imitated her expression, with an innocent posture. That was very touching. However, before they could argue out a result, Wen Jiu impatiently picked up the black and white hairpin and said goodbye. That's almost it. We have to rush to Taoiao to work in the morning. You two should get ready. After the other party finished speaking, he walked out of the bedroom and walked slowly towards the kitchen. Kiki, as always, served as a chef and was now processing various ingredients for cooking. Seeing this, Wen Jiu stepped forward to help make breakfast. Everyone still had to go to Taoiao for business today, but they had to take out their free time at noon to go to the site to see the villa with Zizio. They had originally planned to go to see the villa on the weekend, but the owner of the villa was in a hurry to sell it, so they had to go to see it in advance. The first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out. Little Angels. 030. Chapter 830. First meeting with Mr. Mu 1. Taoiao's business is still booming, and Wen Jiu and others are busy. At the end of the morning business hours, there are still many customers waiting outside the store, just to be the first to enter the store in the afternoon. TSK, you really drive the traffic of Donghu Mall by yourself. Now it seems that the capital I invested earlier will be returned soon. Zizio just finished a meeting at AOS Pharmaceuticals and rushed to Donghu Mall with his assistant. He saw that there were more and more customers in the mall, and the sales of various stores were also booming, and a smile rose on his cold face. Hearing this, Wen Jiu, who had just finished counting the ingredients, turned around and said, "It's okay. It's normal for customers to go shopping in the mall after buying desserts. If you really want to thank me, give me some bonus." Alas, it's boring to talk about money between friends like us. He laughed and joked. When he heard this, "I'll give you a red envelope as a bonus later, okay?" As soon as the voice fell, the other party responded with interest. "Okay, that's great. It's just that you are being so attentive for no reason, which makes me feel very strange." After hearing this, his smile deepened. "Isn't this cold medicine on the market? The sales are much better than expected," he said, and asked his assistant to click on the light screen panel. "Look, so much has been sold in one day, and there are still many suppliers waiting to sign the contract." Hearing this, Wen Jiu immediately understood. Because the sales of cold medicine were good, Zizio was in a good mood, so he agreed to give her a red envelope. "As long as the sales are good, you can handle the medicine. Anyway, I trust you," she said, and picked up the grey pink sportswear jacket on the table. It was a bit hot when she was busy before, so she took off the jacket. Just when the work was almost done, she called Zikingayu and others and followed Zizio to see the villa. Get in the car, a business type hovercraft, which can just sit 7 people. After saying that, Wen Jiu picked up Kiki, who had turned back to her original form early in the morning. Although Zizio already knew Kiki's identity, the other party's assistant was still unaware of it. So when the business hours were over, she asked Kiki to go into the warehouse and turn back to her original form, so that she could take her to see the villa together. Anyway, Kiki always wanted to wear pet clothes, and it didn't matter if she pretended to be a pet occasionally. It was just that when the other party turned into a little fox, Zikingayu and others would make jokes. I vaguely remember someone once saying that they don't want to be treated as a pet anymore. I have this memory too. It shouldn't be said by the high and mighty Fox Immortal. TSK, you are all wrong. What does the Fox Immortal say have to do with the little fox? Oh, be careful, the little fox will get angry, or there will be no food to eat in the future. Fortunately, Kiki has developed a heart of steel. As long as he pretends that he has never said those words before, he will not be annoyed by the weirdness of Zikingayu and others. They chatted in the car and soon arrived at Zishan District, where the villa was located. Zishan District is considered one of the wealthy areas of Dongfang City. Many people with rich assets live here. It is a livable place with beautiful mountains, clear waters and fresh air. because it would take a while to arrive at the Zishan Villa area. Ziziu briefly introduced the situation. As soon as he finished speaking, Kiyoshishi, who had always been aware of real estate information, couldn't help but speak. But there are not as many people living in Zishan district as in Buyuan district, right? I know that many old families and new forces are in Buyuan district. Yes, but this is because Zishan district was established later, he patiently explained. So many families are still proud to live in Buyuan district, but in fact, the environment in Buyuan district is not as good as Zishan district. This is also the reason why I helped Jiu find this Zishan villa. Doesn't she like this kind of place with pleasant scenery and quietness? Wen Jiu raised her eyebrows when she was suddenly mentioned, but she did not answer out loud, but nodded slightly to show her agreement. Compared with the place where family forces are entrenched, she still prefers an environment where no one can disturb her. It is tiring enough to work on cooperative relationships at ordinary times, and she doesn't want to be polite to others during her rest time. While chatting, they finally arrived at their destination. Lush bamboo stood in 2 rows along the gravel road, and the emerald green bamboo leaves blocked the scorching sun. They walked along the road for a while before they saw the grey-white villa. It perfectly combines the minimalist style with the ancient Chinese style, simple and quiet, low-key, and solemn. Before Wen Jiu could appreciate it carefully, he saw an old man with white hair coming. Mr. Mu, Ziziu bowed respectfully. I'm sorry to bother you today. After speaking, the old man called Mr. Mu just smiled indifferently. It's okay, as the owner of this house, I will naturally accompany you to see it. As he said, he looked at Wen Jiu who was standing behind Ziziu. This is the little friend Wen you mentioned, right? She is really a smart and lovely girl. In fact, when he first knew that the buyer was a little girl, he was a little reluctant. After all, he designed this house himself and watched the workers build it. If an ignorant little girl bought it and ruined his hard work, he would be really angry. If his family hadn't been urging him to go back, he really didn't want to sell the house. He just likes to live on a low-level planet without being disturbed by outsiders, and he doesn't understand why the children at home insist on him going back. Hello, Grandpa Mu. Wen Jiu immediately smiled obediently and then bowed. However, she didn't clasp her fists like Ziziu did, but just bowed her head slightly to show respect. Seeing this, Muleo stroked his beard and said, okay, it's so hot in the middle of the day, and you guys can follow me in first. His first impression of Wen Jiu was pretty good. The other party's posture was natural and the smile was just right, which was a bit like the style of a lady from a famous family. It was just that Wen Jiu's fangs showed when she smiled, which added a strange wildness. But in general, the other party's manners were generous, and he still had a good impression of him. Therefore, he was willing to talk to Wen Jiu for a while, to test what kind of personality he had. If they got along well, he would sell it without hesitation. If they didn't get along well, he would rather not sell it, and let it gather dust here than let someone who didn't understand him buy it. Pushing open the dark door, everyone stepped in. Every flower and tree was carefully tended, creating a lush and fresh small garden. Even the stones by the pond were made of top quality black stones. Seeing everyone's amazement, Muleo stroked his beard proudly and said, I like to take care of flowers and plants on weekdays. All the plants in this small garden are taken care of by me. This is the second update of today. Thank you for the support of every little angel. 030. Chapter 831. First meeting with Mr. Mewtwo. After saying that, Hukiki excitedly tugged at Wen Jiu's sleeve. Because he also has a hobby of tending flowers and plants, but his flower art is far inferior to that of Mr. Mew in front of him, so he especially wants to learn from him. But the problem is that he can only show his true form at present, and cannot communicate with Mr. Mew about his experience in tending flowers and plants. So he wanted to hint to Wen Jiu, hoping that he could help him ask. But his movement was a bit loud, which instantly attracted Mr. Mew's attention. May I ask what kind of fox is Mr. Wen holding? A hint of gentleness appeared in the other party's sharp eyes. To be honest, I'm most interested in these plants and animals. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled slightly. This is a stray fox I adopted, and I don't know what kind it is. It seems that Mr. Wen is still a caring person. Not bad. Mr. Mew stroked his beard with satisfaction and then led them through the small garden into the main hall. In the main hall with tall ceilings and large windows, there are porcelains collected by Mr. Mew, as well as landscape paintings, which enhance the classical and elegant atmosphere to the extreme. There is also a hint of sandalwood in the air, which makes people feel relaxed and happy. Seeing this, Zikingai couldn't help but pull the corner of Ziziu's clothes. Brother, which big family is this grandfather from? He shouldn't be from planet 3047, right? Hush, you just know it in your heart, and you can talk about it later. The other party shook his head slightly, indicating that this is not the time for gossip. When he saw Ziziu so serious, he silently closed his mouth. The main reason is that Mr. Mew has too many collections, and he just looked around carefully and found that these porcelains and paintings are all from famous artists. After all, he had seen a lot of treasures with his parents before, so he could naturally see how precious the things displayed here are. So he thought about it in his mind. Of the 3 major families on planet 3047, only their Z family remained. Other families could not have such huge financial resources, so he thought more deeply. While everyone was busy admiring the collection, Wen Jiu walked to the incense burner and sniffed it carefully. Seeing this, Muleo couldn't help but feel a little curious. Does Wen Jiu also know about incense? A little bit. Wen Jiu smiled very politely. Grandpa Mew uses hands and sandalwood, right? As soon as she finished speaking, Muleo was surprised and said, that's right. Wen Jiu has a very sensitive nose. When she heard what the other party said, she smiled and said, Grandpa Mew, you are too kind. Although the fragrance of hands and sandalwood is very light, it has a hint of refreshing cold fragrance, so you can smell it, if you smell it carefully. Seeing that Wen Jiu had some understanding of spices, Muleo's satisfaction in his heart increased a little. He felt that people who knew about incense were mostly gentle and easier to get along with than others. But just when he wanted to chat with Wen Jiu for a few more words, he suddenly saw the other party shaking his head slightly. Seeing this, he asked in confusion, little friend Wen, what do you mean? Well, I just think that the calligraphy collected by Grandpa Mew is not good, Wen Jiu said, pointing to the calligraphy hanging in the middle of the hall. I'm not saying that the meaning is bad, nor that the calligraphy is bad, but it doesn't fit with the atmosphere of Grandpa Mew's main hall. Hearing this, he frowned with some dissatisfaction. Because the calligraphy he hung in the middle of the hall was written by a famous calligrapher, no matter who saw it, they would praise it. But the little girl in front of him not only did not praise it, but also said that the calligraphy did not fit with the atmosphere of the main hall. What a joke. Every ornament and every calligraphy and painting here were all collected by him with great difficulty, and all of them were from famous masters. He could attract countless people to pursue any of them, not to mention the extremely precious calligraphy and painting in the middle. What good or bad can a little girl tell? It's a pity that he thought the other person was a good person before. At the moment, it seems that he is just a half-baked person who dares to pretend to be a scholar with a little knowledge. Seeing that Mr. Mew looked unhappy, Ziziu quickly spoke up to help Wen Jiu explain. Mr. Mew, my little sister is quite accomplished in calligraphy. You might as well listen to her reasons for saying so. Although Mr. Mew did not have much property on planet 3047, the other party was extraordinary and had many collections. As soon as he met him, he knew it was best not to offend this person. Humph. Mr. Mew looked at Wen Jiu with some dissatisfaction. Then tell me, let me hear it. The main reason was that Ziziu had helped him a lot before, and he was willing to give the other party face for this reason. Hearing this, Wen Jiu bowed respectfully to express his apology. Grandpa Mew, this calligraphy is written in a sharp way. Although it looks quite powerful, it is quite inconsistent with the atmosphere of your elegant main hall. If I were asked to choose a calligraphy to hang in the middle, I would choose a calligraphy with softer and more majestic handwriting. This would not only highlight the majestic momentum of the main hall, but also would not destroy the overall quietness and elegance. She didn't want to say so much, but because of Mr. Mew's love for ancient Chinese culture, she took the initiative to remind him. If Mr. Mew was unhappy about such a small matter, then she would not buy this villa at most. Although she liked the ancient Chinese style house, she didn't have to buy this one. Besides, her aesthetic taste was not bad. If she didn't want to move into the new house before school started, she could buy a vacant piece of land and design the drawings to build a villa she liked. Whether it was ancient Chinese style or ancient European style, she could design a drawing. That is to say, she is in a hurry to move, so she is rushing to look for houses and buy one. Fortunately, Mr. Mew is a reasonable person. After listening to her words, he thought deeply for a while, and then smiled. I didn't expect that Wen Jiu also studied calligraphy. I always felt that the atmosphere in the main hall was not right. Just now, after listening to Wen Jiu's words, I felt like I suddenly realized something. Mr. Mew has already reached the age of 70, and he is more indifferent to many things. His former hot temper has gradually calmed down as he grows older. If he was contradicted by a junior in the past, he would definitely teach the other party a lesson first. But now he rarely gets angry, and his attitude towards people is gentler than before. After Wen Jiu gave the reason, he reflected seriously for a while. Because what the other party said did make some sense, he found a way out for himself. But to be honest, he didn't think the calligraphy and painting was abrupt at all before. But after Wen Jiu brought it up, he felt more and more uncomfortable. Just when he was thinking about whether to accept the other party's opinion, he suddenly heard the delicate little boy next to him said with a smile, "Grandpa Mew, my sister Jiu's calligraphy is absolutely amazing. If you don't believe me, you can ask her to show her skills." The third update of the day has also been delivered. Thank you all for your support again. Chapter 832, First Meeting with Mr. Mew 3. After finishing his compliments, Zikingai looked at Wen Jiu with a proud face. He thought that, if he could make Mr. Mew happy, the house price might be even cheaper. Once the house price is cheaper, Wen Jiu will definitely be happy. At that time, he will make a lot of delicious food for them, and give them a salary increase as a reward, and then he will be so happy that he will fly. In short, Wen Jiu's show of his talent is equal to everyone's happiness. Oh. Wen Jiu's calligraphy is so outstanding? Mr. Mew smiled with interest. In this case, how about troubling Wen Jiu to write a piece of calligraphy for me to open my eyes? Although he thought that what Wen Jiu said just now made sense, he did not think that the other party's calligraphy was outstanding. You have to know that it takes a lot of effort to practice good calligraphy. The calligraphers he knows are all old men in their 50s and 60s. Even the youngest one is more than 30 years old this year. Wen Jiu is just a girl in her teens, and it is good enough for her to write fluent calligraphy. But if we really talk about the attainments in calligraphy, it is certainly not comparable to the calligraphy masters. However, since the little boy next to him said so, he couldn't say anything to undermine his confidence. It would be better to follow the boy's wishes first. Then he could just pick up a piece of calligraphy and compare them, and then he would be able to see who is stronger and who is weaker. Upon hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled and agreed, and then he glared at Zikingai inadvertently. She came to see the house, not to perform a show. Why did she act like she was having dinner with relatives during the new year? Although she knew that the other party also had good intentions and wanted to please Mr. Mew so as to bargain. But forget it, she had already agreed, and she couldn't regret it. So she walked to the desk in the main hall, spread out the white paper, and skillfully added water and ground the ink. Then she picked up a brush and wrote a piece of calligraphy. After she finished writing, Zikingai read out in a low voice, "A room is elegant and has the fragrance of orchids." Yes, a room is elegant and has the fragrance of orchids. Wen Jiu silently stepped aside. A room does not have to be big to be elegant, and the fragrance of flowers does not have to be in number. She had just stepped aside when Mr. Mew excitedly squeezed in front of the desk, his eyes full of amazement. What a good calligraphy. This is really a good calligraphy. The other party praised it with great joy. It flows like clouds and running water, and the strokes are as smooth as clouds and smoke. The brushwork is powerful, and the ending is clever. It's really amazing. Seeing this, Zizu quietly moved to the side of Wen Jiu. It seems that there will be no problem in negotiating the price later. We may be able to lower the price. Although the selling price given by Mr. Mew was not high, every penny saved counts. Really? Can a piece of calligraphy have this effect? The other party still maintained a nonchalant expression. If it is so magical, I might as well change my career and sell calligraphy. Hearing this, Ziziu sighed heavily. You are catering to his taste. Of course it will work. As for selling calligraphy, I don't think it is necessary. You should just sell desserts. Just as the two were talking in a low voice, Mr. Mew suddenly laughed up to the sky. In just a few seconds, the other party smiled and bowed to Wen Jiu. Friend Wen, I was too arrogant before. Please don't blame me. It's okay. Grandpa Mew is a man of character, so it's normal for him to be a little arrogant. It was the first time that Ziziu saw Wen Jiu's ability to say different things to different people. The other party's words were so clever that they not only resolved Mew Leo's embarrassment, but also raised Mew Leo's status invisibly. He was worried that Wen Jiu would say something wrong and annoy Mew Leo, but he didn't expect that the other party was actually good at sweet talk. Hahaha, friend Wen really wins my heart. The more Mew Leo looked at Wen Jiu, the more he liked him. I wonder if friend Wen has any experience in painting. It just so happens that I just got a lotus painting by Master Yu. As he said that, he ordered the robot butler to fetch the lotus painting and then enthusiastically invited Wen Jiu to come and see it. To his great surprise, the other party actually knew how to appreciate paintings. The artist of this lotus painting is a skilled painter, but he lacks some skills in coloring and fails to show the elegance of lotus. Hearing this, he nodded in agreement and said, yes, yes, yes. I think so too, but those old men insisted that my eyesight was bad. I was so angry that I wanted to beat them up and ignored them. His hobbies are to grow flowers and fish and collect some ancient Chinese calligraphy and paintings. However, many of his old friends have the hobby of collecting objects, so they often compare privately whose collection is better. He originally didn't want to take a picture of this lotus painting because he thought that, although this lotus painting was beautiful, he always felt that it was not good enough after looking at it for a long time. However, in order to get the praise of his old friends, he still took a picture of the lotus painting from Master Yu. It's just that everyone thinks that his aesthetic taste is not good enough, so they think that this lotus painting is not good enough. He has been depressed for a long time because of this, but he didn't expect to meet Wen Jiu now, who pointed out the problem of the lotus painting, which made him feel like he suddenly realized something. There is a saying that bosom friends are rare, and Wen Jiu's calligraphy attainments are quite high, even better than those calligraphy masters, so he couldn't help but think of making friends with him. Wen Jiu, since there is such a good relationship between you and me, I will sell this house to you at a low price. Mew Leo stroked his beard with a smile, but I have a small request. I wonder if Wen Jiu can agree to it. Hearing this, Wen Jiu did not nod in a hurry, but smiled and asked, Grandpa Mew, please tell me what the request is first. I'm afraid that I can't do it with my ability, so as not to make Grandpa Mew happy in vain. Although she wanted to buy a new house at a lower price, she only met Mew Leo once. The other party suddenly showed his intention to show goodwill, and she didn't dare to agree directly at this time. If Mew Leo made a request that was difficult to complete, wouldn't it be embarrassing for her to accept it directly? Little friend Wen, don't belittle yourself. It's just a small request. The other party smiled and pointed to the lotus painting on the desk. Since little friend Wen has such a high level of attainment in calligraphy, I guess he is not much worse in painting, right? I admire little friend Wen's calligraphy and painting very much, so I want to see more of his paintings. I hope that little friend Wen can send me a handwritten painting when he has time in the future, so that I can open my eyes. Just by listening to Wen Jiu's comments on the lotus painting, Mew Leo knew that the other party's painting ability must be good. Coupled with the filter blessing of the previous calligraphy and painting, he really wanted to get a painting by Wen Jiu. If the other party's painting skills were as superb as his calligraphy, he could take the painting to show off in front of his old friends. Today's first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out, little angels. 030. Whispering. A room doesn't need to be big to be elegant, and flowers don't need to be numerous to be fragrant. From Zheng Bankio's couplet. Chapter 833. First meeting with Mr. Mew 4. Wen Jiu finally agreed to Muleo's request, on the one hand, because the other party was willing to give her a 50% discount, and on the other hand, because she could draw, using a painting in exchange for a 50% discount. This deal is simply too cost effective. Perhaps because Muleo was in a hurry to sell the house, Wen Jiu took out the contract after taking a look at the house. Seeing this, Wen Jiu sent the contract to Yu Ruman. Fortunately, the other party was in a sober state for the past 2 days, and soon sent the signed contract. Thanks to Ziji's voice recognition function, Yu Ruman could sign and confirm, even if she couldn't move. Once the contract was signed, everyone was happy. Wen Jiu successfully bought the first villa in her life, and Muleo could happily return to his original planet. She originally wanted to look at a few more villas before making a decision, but if she changed the seller, there might not be a discount. Besides, Muleo's ancient Chinese style villa is not bad, and the decoration style and various furnishings are all what she likes. The 4-story building is big enough for her and her friends to live together, and the garden outside can also satisfy Hukiki's joy of farming. This location is also a rare good place, with beautiful mountains and rivers and pleasant scenery, but it is not as lonely as other single-family villas, and it is not too close to neighbors. Except for the slightly troublesome transportation, she is still very satisfied with it overall. So she gave up looking at other villas and directly decided to buy this one from Muleo. Zio Wen, I will leave planet 3047 in a few days. I will take all my collections away at that time, so you have to buy some decorations yourself. Muleo sat contentedly on the parlor chair, and it can be seen that he is in a very good mood at this time. He was very satisfied with Wen Jiu, and he put down his arrogance when he spoke, and changed his name. Hearing this, Wen Jiu smiled obediently and said, "Okay, Grandpa Mu, I wish you a safe journey." As she said that, she clicked on the Star Network account, and took the initiative to make a friend with Muleo. Then the two of them talked happily for a while, until the friends winked at each other. She stood up, and said goodbye to Muleo. The main reason was that everyone didn't eat lunch when they came, and only had a little dessert to fill their stomachs. After chatting for most of the afternoon, they were already hungry. Zio Wen. Just as they walked out of the door, they saw Muleo suddenly walked over quickly. Seeing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but look at each other with Zizio. Could it be that Muleo wanted to regret not selling it? Just when the two were thinking deeply, Muleo said with a smile, "I see it's getting late. I guess you are all hungry. Why don't you stay and have lunch before leaving?" He has lived on planet 3047 for more than a year and has never made any local friends. Now he finally met a junior who suits his appetite, but he will leave this place in a few days. Although he doesn't like being disturbed, he still wants to have some fun before leaving. This, Zizio looked at Wen Jiu with some embarrassment. "Mr. Mu, little Wen is not used to eating outside." He was looking forward to Wen Jiu's return to Taoiao, so of course he couldn't let him stay. If Wen Jiu couldn't leave, they would have no food for lunch. Although he had Hukiki, the little cook, to support him, he just wanted to have a bite of the food made by Wen Jiu. Hearing this, Mr. Mu rarely showed a trace of disappointment. "I see, then you should leave. Anyway, he will return to his native planet in a few days, and his sons, daughters, grandchildren, and granddaughters are waiting for him. It's a pity that he doesn't have a granddaughter as smart and sensitive as Wen Jiu. Think about the youngest granddaughter in his family, who seems to be about the same age as Wen Jiu. But why is her temperament so different? If the younger generation in his family could be as polite and sensible as Wen Jiu, he wouldn't be so angry that he ran to a low-level planet to live a quiet life. Just as Muleo was about to send them off, Wen Jiu suddenly smiled and said, "Actually, it's okay to make an exception today, but I have a small request." As soon as the voice fell, Muleo immediately perked up. Okay, I wonder what Zio Wen wants. "Well, I just want me to cook this lunch." Wen Jiu smiled sweetly at Muleo again. "I'm not used to eating food cooked by others, so I usually cook by myself." She thought that Muleo would be leaving in a few days, so it would be nice to do him a favor. Moreover, Muleo had so many collections that it was obvious that he was not an ordinary person. It just so happened that there were a few boxes of Teo Iao's desserts in her wisdom ring space. If she gave them to him to take back and taste, it might help her advertise on other planets. Of course you can. Muleo really didn't expect Wen Jiu to make such a request. What ingredients do you want to use? I'll ask Xioli to pick fresh ones in the backyard. Xioli is an intelligent robot responsible for doing housework. After all, he is too old to do it himself. Hearing this, Wen Jiu first mentioned several very common ingredients, and then took Zikingayu and others back to the main hall. However, Zikingayu and others were too embarrassed to eat for free, so they took the initiative to follow Xioli to the backyard to pick vegetables. Zio Wen, I didn't expect you could even cook. You are simply an all-rounder. Old Mew stood at the kitchen door with eager eyes. He liked this girl more and more. Wen Jiu handled the ingredients very skillfully, and the other party was not at all spoiled by ordinary children. He thought Wen Jiu was being polite, but he didn't expect that the other party really knew how to cook. Just from the smooth operation and the sharp feeling of the knife, you can tell at a glance how skilled Wen Jiu's cooking skills are. As soon as he finished speaking, the other party answered, while cutting green onions, "It's just a little skill, not worth mentioning." This is not a little skill. You cut green onions faster than Xioli. Old Mew opened the light screen panel. I heard from Xiaozi that you opened a dessert shop. I wonder if I have a chance to taste it? He has never liked the spoiled younger generations in his family. Now it is rare to meet someone who is capable and not self-righteous, and he can't help but have a desire to show off. However, he knew that secretly taking pictures was a bad behavior, so he could only look at Wen Jiu eagerly, and at the same time silently made his words in his heart. Wen Jiu quickly cut the green onions, and then picked up the old goose, and cut it into pieces. "Grandpa Mew, if you want to taste it, I just brought a few boxes of desserts. I will take them out for you later." When she saw old Mew open the light screen panel, she immediately understood what the other party wanted to do. So she smiled and said, "Grandpa Mew, if you want to take pictures, just take them. It's not a problem." Hearing this, Grandpa Mew smiled and said, okay, Zio Wen, you are such a good child. If you have the chance in the future, you must." This is the second update of today. Thank you little angels for your support. 030. Chapter 834 Old Goose Soup and Plum Spare Ribs 1. He originally wanted to ask Wen Jiu to come to see him, but when he thought of the troublesome young people at home, he thought it would be better not to say such words first. They were all little devils. Don't scare the well-behaved Wen Jiu. He had done a lot of good things in the past, and made many contributions to the Federation, so why didn't he have a lovely granddaughter or grandson? Thinking of this, he became even more angry. Wen Jiu had just put the cut old goose into the pot to blanch it, and when he turned around, he caught a glimpse of Muleo who looked suspicious. Seeing this, she asked in a gentle tone, "Grandpa Mew, what did you want to say just now?" "I was busy cutting the goose at that time, and didn't hear it clearly." In fact, she heard what Muleo said just now, but she didn't continue the topic. When she saw that he was hesitant to speak, she guessed that Muleo's status was extraordinary, so he naturally couldn't make promises easily, which led to the other party stopping halfway. But she had already fulfilled her wish to buy a villa, so she didn't need Mr. Mew to promise anything, so she might as well give him a way out, and jump to the topic. "Oh, I wanted to ask what dish you were going to make." After all, Mr. Mew was an old man who had lived for decades, so he naturally understood that Wen Jiu was giving him a way out. Therefore, he looked at the other person with a little more appreciation. "Make some old goose soup, and roast some spare ribs," Wen Jiu answered, while picking up the blanched goose meat. "Thank goodness that Grandpa Mew's house is cool, so I can make some hot food." Hearing this, he couldn't help but laugh and said, "Ha ha ha, this will be your home from now on. You can do whatever you want." Although he understood that Wen Jiu was saying nice things to make him happy, every word she said touched his heart. It was nice but not annoying. This girl is really smart. Then he saw that Wen Jiu was concentrating on cooking, so he didn't disturb her anymore, but just stood quietly at the door and turned on the camera. Wen Jiu was already good looking, and when he got serious, he had a different style. After he simply filmed a video, He attached the calligraphy and painting he had filmed before and sent it to the group of his old friends. Clouds and breezes. Oh, I just met a junior who insisted on writing a piece of calligraphy for me, and now he insisted on staying to make lunch for me. Is there any brother who can give me some advice? Sunflowers on the tree. Leo Mew, when will you come back? I'm waiting for you to play chess. Leo Mew saw that the first person to reply was his friend, so he carefully typed a message to inform the other party that he would leave the day after tomorrow at the latest. However, he had just sent the message when his friend suddenly exploded with several messages. Sunflowers on the tree, @CLOUDS and breezes. Which famous artist wrote the calligraphy and painting you sent? It's graceful, and it combines both hardness and softness. It's a rare good calligraphy. Sunflowers on the tree. Leo Mew, you and I have been friends for so many years. Don't fool me and say that it was written by a junior. How can a junior write such a wonderful calligraphy? Before he could reply to this friend, the other people in the group were blown up. Life is like tea. @Leo Mew, which famous calligrapher's calligraphy and painting did you send? This is the first time I have seen such a chic calligraphy. @Leo Mew, please tell me the famous calligrapher quickly, otherwise there will be no wine to drink when you come back. No one pays attention to the video Leo Mew sent. That little girl cuts vegetables too fast. Can children nowadays cook at such a young age? What calligraphy and painting written by the junior? I didn't expect that. Leo Mew, you dare to say anything just to brag. Leo Mew was very happy to read the messages in the group because there were a lot of troublesome little devils in his family, so he rarely had the opportunity to show off the juniors in front of his old friends. Now seeing that everyone is praising Wen Jiu's calligraphy and painting, a sense of pride arises in his heart. But before he could be happy for long, he saw the mocking message sent by his mortal enemy. Clouds and breezes, @MING is the Ming of Yuming. What am I bragging about? This is what the junior wrote to me, and she is cooking right now. You old man just can't eat grapes and say that the grapes are sour. Ming is the Ming of Yuming. Haha, you are anxious. You are anxious. You are anxious. Seeing this, Leo was so angry that he sent a bunch of messages. Clouds and breezes, old man Ming, you are just envious of me and jealous of me. Clouds and breezes picture x10. You should appreciate this calligraphy and painting, but it's a pity that you can't buy it. Even if you have money, I tell you, this calligraphy and painting is really written by a junior specifically for me. Clouds and breezes, why are you silent? Are you angry? Old man Ming, you are so narrow-minded. Seeing that his mortal enemy didn't reply to the message, he couldn't help but reveal a hint of pride. You know, he was usually so angry with his mortal enemy that he jumped up and down. He didn't expect that he would have a day to be proud and get back at his enemies. As a person who likes to collect calligraphy and painting, he certainly knows how excellent Wen Jiu's calligraphy and painting are, and his old friends in the group are also calligraphy and painting enthusiasts. Anyone who sees this calligraphy and painting will be extremely envious of him. Grandpa Mew, did you see any good news? When Jiu was processing the core of the yellow plum, she saw that Leo was smiling and glowing, and she couldn't help but feel a little curious. Hearing this, Leo smiled and nodded and said, that's definitely good news. I just sent the calligraphy and painting you wrote to the group. My old friends are very envious. He still had to maintain his gentle old man persona, so as not to scare the well-behaved girl in front of him away. After hearing this, Wen Jiu only smiled slightly. I see. It's my honor to be liked by you and other grandparents. It seems that these wealthy old people like to collect calligraphy and paintings, so she can consider this sideline in the future? Forget it. She already has a lot of work, so there is no need to rush to develop a sideline. But she still smiled and said, if Grandpa Mew's friends like it, I can write a few more calligraphy and paintings, but I hope the grandparents don't dislike me. After all, Leo gave her such a big discount, it is only right for her to give him a few calligraphy and paintings. After she finished speaking, Leo was a little surprised and stunned for a moment. Is this too much trouble for you? No. After she answered, she continued to deal with Huang Mei. Hearing this, the other party immediately smiled and said, that's great. I'll trouble you to write a few more for me later. so that I can take them back and show them off. Seeing that, Muleo was very happy. Wen Jiu just remained calm and speeded up to get busy. Today's third update has also been delivered. Thank you again for your support. 030. Chapter 835 Old Goose Soup and Plum Spare Ribs 2. Look, everyone. I had goose soup and pork ribs with plums for lunch today. Old Mew was smiling and filming a short video, which made Kaioshishi and others look confused. Brother Z, has Grandpa Mew always lived alone? Kaioshishi originally wanted to ask Zizu if Old Mew had lived alone for too long, so he was so excited. But she thought it was not polite to ask like that, so she changed to a more tactful way of asking. Hearing this, Zizu shook his head slowly. Actually, I'm not sure, it seems to be. He met Old Mew by chance, and he happened to see the news that the other party was going to sell the house, so he contacted him a few times. If you want to say that they are familiar, it's really not the case. Therefore, he didn't know much about Old Mew, he only knew that the other party had an extraordinary background. Then should we spend more time with him in the future? Zikingai was sitting on the left of Kaioshishi, so he naturally joined the chat. After the words fell, Kaioshishi looked at him with a fool's eyes. Grandpa Mew will leave planet 3047 the day after tomorrow. How can we come to accompany him more often? I forgot. He bit his lip aggrievedly. Why are you so fierce? I just asked a question. Seeing that the two children were about to quarrel, Wen Jiu quickly asked everyone to scoop rice and soup. She first served a full bowl of goose soup to Muleo, and then scooped a fist-sized amount of rice for him. Muleo is old, and the amount of food should not be too much. She estimated that he should be able to eat these, plus the plum ribs, which should be enough. Oh, look at how well behaved my new junior is, Muleo said, while patting Wen Jiu and others. I didn't expect that I would have fun with the juniors. He simply took a few short videos and then sent them to the old friends group. The old friends were still discussing the calligraphy and painting written by Wen Jiu that he had sent earlier. Sunflowers on the tree. I just forwarded the calligraphy and painting sent by Leo Mew to several calligraphy masters, and they all asked me who wrote this calligraphy and painting. I said it was written by an unknown junior, and then they started to bombard me with messages, insisting that I was fooling them. Butterfly love flower. Coincidentally, I know an old sister who is good at calligraphy. After seeing it, she swore that the person who wrote this calligraphy and painting must be a senior. Then I told her what Leo Mew said, and now she is crazy saying that Leo Mew is lying to me, and she said she would go to Leo Mew to ask for an explanation. Many sons and grandsons, more blessings. I think this calligraphy and painting must have been written by a master, and it is absolutely impossible for a junior to write it. It takes decades of practice to master this skill of writing. Ming is the moon and the moon. Old Zhang, you also think that Old Mew is talking nonsense, right? Look at this flowing handwriting. How could it be written by a young generation? Besides, we all know that the young generations in your family, Old Mew, are all impatient and can't calm down to practice calligraphy. Ming is the moon and the moon. Although my grandchildren are not good at calligraphy, they are both very competitive. One of them runs a thriving company, and the other is very good at mecha. Those little devils in your family, who can't help but say that you are so miserable. As soon as Old Mew sent out the video he had taken, he saw his mortal enemy poking his sore spots. This made his old eyes widen with anger, and he wished he could go back and strangle the other person to death. He and Old Man Ming have been mortal enemies since they were young. Now that they are both in their 70s, they still hate each other. Everything in his life was very good for him, and his luck was several times better than that of Old Man Ming. His children were very ambitious and all of them were very successful. I don't know if God saw that he was too lucky, so none of his grandchildren were sensible. It would be fine if they were not sensible and did not know etiquette, but those children had no ambition at all, and they just relied on their family to bully others, which made him lose face. Later, when he talked with his friends, he found that everyone's family had such a devil. He finally settled down, thinking that the children would be fine when they grew up. But the two grandsons of Old Man Ming were particularly outstanding. One of them did not rely on the power of the family to start a business outside. When everyone thought that this was a road doomed to fail, the company he opened suddenly soared. Although the other grandson was still studying at the Imperial Capital Military Academy, he won the first place in several major competitions and received a medal from the federal headquarters some time ago. It was said that it was a reward for cooperating with the military district mission. With such a comparison, it instantly seemed that his descendants were incompetent. Why didn't he have a younger generation to brag about? Just when Muleo was feeling aggrieved, he suddenly smelled a scent of meat. He lowered his head and found a bowl of goose soup in front of him. He had heard others say that good food can heal people's souls. At that time, he didn't think so, but now he suddenly believed it. In the milky white soup without a trace of oil, there were a few green and fragrant chopped green onions. There were also pieces of goose meat that were stewed until soft and rotten, emitting a rich and fragrant aroma. Grandpa Mew, please try my cooking skills. Wen Jiu smiled and handed over a small spoon. Seeing this, Muleo's depression could not help but ease a little. He took the spoon and scooped a spoonful of hot soup, which rose with a strong aroma and immediately aroused the greed in his stomach. He first blew gently and then drank the soup in the spoon. The deliciousness of goose meat and the fragrance of mushrooms are perfectly combined, and the chopped green onions dotted in it are like the finishing touch, making the already rich fragrance even more tempting. The hot and fresh taste dispelled his previous displeasure, leaving only the delicious fragrance that made him linger. He had never tasted such a delicious soup, and he had never thought that the taste of goose stew would be so good. Good. This soup is so good. He looked at Wen Jiu with great surprise. Zio Wen, your skill in making soup is so good. As he said, he scooped another spoonful of soup and drank it. The delicious taste filled his mouth, making him more and more energetic. As Muleo scooped soup one spoonful after another, the full goose soup was almost empty. So he picked up a piece of goose meat with chopsticks and swallowed it into his mouth with just a sip. The tender and delicious goose meat was full of soup, and it tasted both smooth and extremely fragrant. He felt like he had jumped into a sea of deliciousness, his whole body filled with the delicious aroma of goose meat. After chewing it a few more times, he couldn't help but exclaim, "It's so fresh and tender. This is really the best goose meat I've ever eaten." This is the first update of today. Thank you little angels for your support. 030. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 836 Old Goose Soup and Plum Spare Ribs 3. The old goose used for cooking at noon today was bought by Zioli when he went to the supermarket 2 days ago to get a discount. Although Zioli's cooking tastes good, it is really difficult to make goose meat delicious. However, the old goose soup stewed by Wen Jiu is not only delicious, but the goose meat is also very tender and smooth, so he finished a bowl in a short time. As the last mouthful of the fragrant and delicious goose soup went down his stomach, Muleo felt that his fatigue and boredom disappeared, and he became relaxed and happy. Then he saw that there was still a lot of old goose soup left in the middle, so he quickly picked up the soup spoon and scooped a full bowl for himself. Seeing this, Wen Jiu reminded him in time, "Grandpa Mew, although goose soup is good, don't enjoy it too much, lest you eat too much, and it is not easy to digest." She couldn't directly say that Muleo shouldn't eat too much because he was old, because this would definitely cause dissatisfaction from the other party. So she changed to a more euphemistic way of saying it, hoping that Muleo could control his own food intake. However, the other party waved his hand in disapproval. "It's okay, I usually have a good appetite, and now I'm only 4/10 full." "I see, Grandpa Mew is really energetic." Seeing that old Mew knew what was going on, she didn't say anything more. The other party happily picked up a goose leg and savored the tenderness of the goose meat. The clear soup slid down the goose meat and ripped into the soup bowl like rain. A wisp of hot air with fragrance rose, making everyone present have a great appetite. Eat another cut mushroom. The thick taste is no less than goose meat. As soon as you bite it, the thick soup splashes on the tip of your tongue, and the fresh and fragrant breath instantly occupies the entire mouth. As old Mew was eating, he caught a glimpse of the rice on the side. This gave him a wonderful idea. He quickly ate up the goose meat and mushrooms in the soup bowl, and then poured the rice into the delicious goose soup. The snow-like rice grains were soaked in the milky white goose soup, and a faint rice fragrance instantly wafted out. He scooped a spoonful into his mouth with great anticipation. The soft rice and the delicious soup intertwined, as if dancing a waltz on the tip of his tongue, making him feel comfortable and happy. Muleo couldn't help but close his eyes and taste the food in his mouth carefully. The sweet rice grains, the delicious goose soup, and the fragrant chopped green onions. These three are cleverly combined together, but they do not lose their own flavor. After a careful taste, the smell of mushrooms seduced his taste buds. It's so refreshing. Just as he was immersed in the deliciousness of the old goose soup, others had already started with the plum ribs. The plum ribs taste more refreshing than the sweet and sour ribs, and are most suitable for food with a strong aroma such as the old goose soup. The slightly sweet and sour taste can perfectly dissolve the greasy taste of the goose soup, and can also stimulate the appetite that is sluggish in summer, which makes people's appetite whet. Sweet and sour, refreshing. After eating a piece of plum ribs, you can swallow a few mouthfuls of rice. The happiest thing in life is to eat the food cooked by Jiu. Zikingayu blew rainbow farts while eating. Just this plum ribs, I can eat 3 bowls of rice. He finished speaking before his friends could reply. Suddenly heard Muleo said, "That's right. I used to think that the happiest thing in life is collecting calligraphy and paintings. Now I think the happiest thing is to eat the food cooked by Wen. I suddenly don't want to go home. How about I stay for a while?" When I think about not having such delicious food after returning, I feel that the rest of my life has become gloomy. It has to be said that Muleo's ability to blow rainbow farts is no less than Wen Jiu's friends. Hearing this, Ziziu immediately became alert. "Mr. Mew, I should have mentioned to you before that Wen and I opened a dessert shop together. If you like the food made by Wen, we can send it to you by express delivery. The house purchase contract has been signed. If Mr. Mew regrets it, he thinks Wen Jiu is likely to beat him up. He doesn't want to make such a mistake, so Mr. Mew must leave obediently." "Oh yes, yes, yes. How could I forget about this?" the other party said, picking up a piece of sweet and sour plum ribs. "I just don't know how Wen's dessert tastes. I'm old and don't like those sweet and greasy ones." After saying this, Wen Jiu quickly took out 2 boxes of peach blossom cakes and a box of the newly launched new flavor of osmanthus mung bean cakes from the wisdom ring space. "Grandpa Mew, these are peach blossom cakes and mung bean cakes," she said as she opened the package. "I made them myself. I can't say how good the taste is, but at least it tastes good. Why don't you try it?" Seeing this, Mr. Mew took the dessert box with a smile. The first thing he noticed was the exquisitely shaped peach blossom pastry. The color changed from light pink to pink, which was extremely beautiful. With the light yellow stamens dotted in the middle, it looked like real peach blossoms at first glance. "This is actually handmade?" He widened his eyes in surprise. After getting the affirmative answer from Wen Jiu and Ziziu, he first clicked on the light screen panel to take a few photos and sent them to the group. And then he carefully took a bite of the peach blossom pastry. The crispy pastry made a crisp sound, and then the layers of fragrance went straight into the lips. The sweet taste would be greasy if it was a little more, and it would be bland if it was a little less. He couldn't believe that Wen Jiu could control the taste so well. Then he took another bite of the stamens. The dense and sweet bean paste and the pastry intertwined, making him feel more and more comfortable the more he ate. After finishing the peach blossom pastry in his hand, he picked up a piece of mung bean cake. Unlike the peach blossom cake with a strong floral fragrance, the mung bean cake has a light fragrance as soon as it enters the mouth, bringing him a hint of refreshing heat relief. The delicate and dense taste really surprised him. Just as he was savoring the sweetness of the mung bean cake, he suddenly tasted a hint of the rich fragrance of osmanthus, which directly elevated the taste of the mung bean cake to a higher level. "Good. Good," Muleo praised while eating. "I didn't expect Wen's skill in making desserts is so high. Then I will wait for you to send the express after I go home." To be honest, when he was drinking the old goose soup just now, he really had the idea of staying. It's just that he and Wen Jiu have already signed a contract, and he can't do anything to regret it at his age. Besides, he really likes Wen Jiu, a junior, and he can't cheat him on this. So what he thought just now was that, if he wanted to stay, he would buy a villa nearby, and come to eat at ordinary times. But when Jiu reminded him that he could send the express, he was embarrassed to stay, even if he wanted to. Alas, how come he met a well-behaved junior like Wen Jiu, just when he was about to leave? The more Muleo thought about it, the more uncomfortable he felt. Unfortunately, he had promised his family to go back, so he could only keep this regret in his heart. Today's second update has also been delivered. Thanks again to the little angels for their support. 030. Chapter 837. The Fox is Coming 1. Afterwards, Wen Jiu and the others accompanied Mr. Mu for a while, until Taoiao's afternoon business hours were almost up. Then they got on the hovercraft and hurried back. But before leaving, Mr. Mu gave Wen Jiu a jade pendant, saying that it was used as the cost of desserts. Wen Jiu didn't want to accept it, but it was really hard to refuse. Wow, this jade pendant sent by Grandpa Mu is top notch. Zikingayu carefully took the jade pendant to examine it. If such glass jade is taken out for auction, it will start at least 1 million star coins. Hearing this, Wen Jiu, who had just arranged a task for Miss Tao, turned around and said, "It's so expensive? Then how many desserts do I have to send to Grandpa Mu to make up for it?" She is not the kind of person who likes to take advantage of small things, so she will naturally not take the gift and not do anything. It's okay, you can make a few more that are not for sale yet. Zikingayu still has a bit of business sense. It just so happens that we haven't thought about the benefits for the brilliant members yet, so we can use these desserts as the highest benefits. She smiled with satisfaction when she heard this, because what Zikingayu said really made sense. It just so happened that the benefits of the brilliant members have not been determined yet, so why not put Grandpa Mu into the brilliant members and then send him some exclusive welfare desserts. This will not only show her full intentions, but also not let down the jade pendant. You know, Taoiao currently has only 7 brilliant members, and these 7 are all their closest people. Then I'll think about what desserts are better to make. You guys do the preparations first. It's going to open in 10 minutes, Wen Jiu said, and walked into the employee lounge. She wanted to search on the Star Network to see what high-end desserts were available at the moment. As a result, as soon as she opened the light screen panel, she received a message from Lin Kai. The other party has found Fox Baba and brought him home. Now they are waiting for her to tell them what to do next. One Leaf knows Autumn. To be honest, this little fox is quite cute. You can't tell that it can play pranks. One Leaf knows Autumn. By the way, I will be staying in the Star Network world for a long time in 2 days. I won't have time to take care of the little fox then, so when is the best time for me to send it to you? Seeing this, Wen Jiu first thought quietly for a while, and then replied to Lin Kihai's message. Jiu Yaochan Wangun, I have sent you the address. Send it when you are free in the next 2 days. She thought she would not receive a reply until the evening, but she didn't expect Lin Kihai to reply so quickly. One Leaf knows Autumn. Isn't it enough to buy a starship ticket to planet 3047? Why did you send me a detailed address? Jiu Yaochan Wangun. Oh, I suddenly remembered that it can take the Federal Pet Express, so I sent you an address. Please send it to me. Wen Jiu originally planned to let Ubaba come by Interstellar spaceship, but when she was having lunch with Muleo about sending express, she suddenly thought of FedEx's pet delivery business. Sending express is much cheaper than buying a boat ticket. The more you can save, the better. Just let Ubaba come by pet box. Since Wen Jiu said so, Lin Kihai couldn't refute anything. Besides, she didn't know that Ubaba could turn into a human. She thought Ubaba was just a mischievous fox. As for why she didn't wonder why Wen Jiu let Ubaba take the spaceship before, it was because some interstellar spaceships already have special pet cabins, as long as the carrier buys an interstellar spaceship ticket for his pet. After all, there are so many people who love to keep pets in such a large interstellar space, and there will always be people who want to travel with their pets. After Wen Jiu gave Lin Kuei a few more instructions, he continued to think about what dessert to make. But she didn't think about it for long before she was called out by Kyoshi. Keep working hard in the afternoon business. The other party handed over the apron for work. Come on, Jiu Jiu. Jiu Jiu is the best. Hearing this, she took the apron and smiled back at the other party and then devoted herself to work. Every time Tao opened, the 5 people and 1 fox were always busy. It's just that they have long been accustomed to such busyness, so they don't feel tired day after day. It's just that when people are busy, time flies. Before they knew it, it was time for Muleo to leave. Wen Jiu was grateful to Muleo, on the one hand, because the other party gave a 50% discount on the house price, and on the other hand for the jade pendant. So after she learned the news from Ziziu, she took her friends to the port to see Muleo off. She also brought dozens of boxes of peach blossom cakes and mung bean cakes, which instantly swept away the other party's depression. She originally wanted to make 1 or 2 boxes of desserts for Muleo, but the machines in the store could not keep them fresh for a long time, so she could only make some for him to enjoy on the road. But this little thought was enough to make Mr. Mew smile. Mr. Mew was all smiles when he boarded the spaceship. It was obvious that he was very happy that Wen Jiu and others came to see him off, but he was still reluctant to leave. First, he was reluctant to leave Wen Jiu, a well-behaved and smart junior, and second, he was reluctant to leave the goose soup and plum ribs made by the other party. Think about it, after he goes back, he will not only have to fight with his mortal enemy, but also have to face the ignorant juniors at home. It is better to stay on a low-level planet and live alone. But he has been living out for more than a year, and it is really unreasonable not to go back. Their Mew family is not a small family. The movement of him running away from home attracted the attention of many media. Fortunately, his daughter and sons are very competitive and suppress those gossip reporters who were ready to move. But he really didn't want to stay at home, and finally chose a low-level planet to relax and avoid being angry to death. Thinking of this, Mr. Mew couldn't help but sigh heavily. When he left, he only took his own collection with him. He deliberately left the robot Zioli behind. This was a home-based bionic man that he had bought at a high price before. It was a gift for Wen Jiu to move in. However, the other party did not know his little intention and was still standing at the place where he was seeing off and waving goodbye. Sister Jiu, I suspect that Mr. Mew came from the Imperial Capital Star. Zikingayu smiled and waved while whispering, did we meet a big customer? Hearing this, although Wen Jiu kept a smile on her face, her voice was flat. No matter where he came from, don't ask too much, okay? In fact, she also guessed where Mr. Mew came from, but she never pointed it out. Because no matter what the other party's identity is, it has nothing to do with her. She just wants to live her own life. As for climbing up the ladder, she really doesn't have that mind. After the interstellar spaceship that Mr. Mew was riding took off, she took Zikingayu and others back to Tao to work. It was just that she had just arrived at the floating bus station outside the port when she received a voice prompt from the express robot. This is the 3rd update of today, please check it out, little angels. Chapter 838, The Fox is Coming Too. When Wen Jiu and his party returned to Tao, they saw a grey and white pet box placed at the door. Seeing this, the quiet Ukiki suddenly frowned and said, where did this wild fox come from? Get away from me. As soon as he finished speaking, a fox cry rang out. Wow, 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 wow. Hearing the sound, Zikingayu couldn't help swallowing his saliva. The one in this pet box, isn't it Ukiki's sister? As soon as he finished speaking, Ukiki raised her head and replied, wow. She is not. I don't recognize her. You can't deny it, he said, and walked up to the front and picked up the pet box. Jiu sister asked for it. Do you dare to throw it away? As soon as the voice fell, Ukiki immediately wilted and walked into Tao dejectedly. He knew that when Jiu wanted Fox Baba to come, firstly to solve Lin Kuei's troubles. Secondly, for what? He seemed to have no idea, because it was still a while before Tao's business hours when Jiu first asked Chujian to close the curtains and then asked Zikingayu to open the grey and white pet box. A snow white fox walked out with lazy steps, and its golden eyes were full of the seductive color that only foxes can have. As a thick cloud of mist dissipated, a charming and beautiful woman appeared in front of everyone. Hubbaba from the Fox clan greets the master. Hubbaba's voice was melodious and seemed to shake people's souls. Thank you, master, for saving me from the water and fire. From now on, I will be the master's subordinate. As soon as the words fell, before Wen Jiu could say anything, Hukiki put her hands on her waist and cursed. Ah. What are you doing, vixen? Would my master be the kind of person who covets beauty? Oh, you're talking as if you didn't use beauty to seduce the master. Hubbaba instantly changed from a charming big sister to a irritable big sister. You said you found the master by strength, but the three-legged cat kung fu you practiced, I punch you, and you will cry for 3 days and 3 nights. Hearing this, Hukiki was so angry that she almost couldn't breathe. Although he had only come into contact with Hubbaba a few times, he knew that the other party had a very hot temper. He thought that he had been with Wen Jiu for so long that he could win by talking, even if he couldn't beat him, but he didn't expect Hubbaba to be so good at scolding. Just as he was thinking hard about how to fight back, Wen Jiu threw out a talisman with a cold face. The talisman stuck to the center of Hubbaba's forehead, and the other party turned back to its original fox form with a bang. Since you have come to my territory, you must follow my rules. Wen Jiu rarely put on a serious and cold face. Hukiki is your brother, and he reported to me before you. So don't think about standing on his head and making trouble, otherwise I will pack you up and send you back to your original planet. If I find you being reckless and violent to Hukiki again, it's hard to say whether you can keep your cultivation. She didn't regard Hubbaba as her own person, so naturally she couldn't tolerate him bullying Hukiki. Although Hukiki didn't learn any magic and was not as good as other little monsters in cultivation, the other party was her personal disciple after all, so she certainly couldn't let Hubbaba bully Hukiki. As soon as the voice fell, Hubbaba didn't say anything, and Hukiki's tears fell. Oh, master, you are too good to me. Hukiki cried, I will practice hard and learn cooking well, and I promise to inherit all your legacy. Hearing this, Wen Jiu looked at him with disdain. Okay, it's not a show. Don't make a touching statement, just be obedient. When he heard what the other party said, he quickly took back his tears. Then he looked at Hubbaba fiercely. Oh, let you bully me, you little bastard. I don't know what kind of talisman Wen Jiu used. No matter how hard Hubbaba tried, she couldn't turn into a human form. She could only lie on the ground as a fox. Although she has a bad temper, she is still very sensible. After she realized that her strength was not as good as Wen Jiu, she quickly put on a standard cute posture. Little master, I was just joking just now. Before she could finish her words of surrender, she was suddenly hit on the head by a red date. The young handsome man who was originally standing next to her was staring at her with a cold face. Question mark. Exclamation mark. However, before the other party opened his mouth, the young handsome man said coldly, the bright moon in the sky waxes and wanes, and your sincerity is probably the same. A blooming rose will wither one day. Is the red you said the red after rotting? Also, if the young master says east, you will never go east. I guess you want to travel all over the country, right? Hubbaba's full confidence was shattered by Chujian. The more she listened, the more depressed she became. Why are humans so hard to fool nowadays? It's really hard to be a vixen like her. She can't beat him or talk him out of it. She feels that her understanding of humans is constantly being refreshed. No wonder Hukiki, the most talented fox in the Fox clan, has to be a little cook under humans. It turns out that she is suppressed by this group of people. Although her mind is more flexible than Hukiki's, she is not as good as the other in terms of talent and ability. Even Hukiki has become so miserable, so she can't expect to find someone to worship her. Thinking of this, she fell to the ground and started the mode of being bad. Seeing this, Wen Jiu winked at Zikingayu, who quickly stepped forward and tore off the talisman. Don't worry, I won't treat you harshly. She saw that Hubbaba had a look of despair on his face, and she knew it was time to make a promise. As long as you behave yourself and don't make trouble, you can enjoy half of the treatment that Hukiki gets. Oh, I haven't introduced the situation to you yet. Hukiki is now my apprentice. In addition to teaching him to practice, I also teach him to cook. In just a few months, his strength has greatly increased, and he can already cast ice and snow spells. As she said that, she winked at Hukiki and asked him to turn into a pot of shaved ice. See, as long as you listen to me, I will teach you to practice and learn spells. Sure enough, Hubaba's originally demise lit up instantly. The other party immediately sat up straight, and the 4 words "I'm very obedient" were almost written on his face. Yo yo yo, this is the first update of the day, please check it out. Little Angels. Chapter 839. The Fox is Coming 3. After some friendly communication, Hubaba finally calmed down. In order to facilitate the next work, she transformed into a human form again. So the customers who often come to Teoiao found that there was a waiter who looked like a fairy in the store. Especially the natural charm, which made the customers' hearts beat fast. Oh my god, I thought it was amazing that Teoiao had a handsome guy. How come a fairy waiter suddenly appeared? Yes. First of all, I'm really heterosexual, but she is so beautiful. The way she looked at me just now, I felt that my soul was going to follow her. Woo 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 woo, I want to be my sister's dog. Sister, take me away quickly. Stop. This is a waiting area, not a no man's land. Can you be a dog and have some morals? Customers, both men and women, were secretly glancing at Hubaba, which made Hukiki, who had become a teenager, very unhappy. While handing Wen Jiu a freshly baked baking tray, he complained in a weak voice. Oh my god, when I turned into a man, I was so handsome. These humans really don't know how to appreciate it. I look so tacky. Although his voice was very low, Wen Jiu, who had a keen hearing, still heard it. Just as he handed over the baking tray, the other party spoke in an equally weak voice. First of all, your use of idioms makes me feel very embarrassed. Secondly, your appearance is top-notch among humans. Also, since she is here now, you should try your best to defeat her with your strength, and don't attack her with her appearance. You and her are from the same hometown anyway. If you feel unhappy, just turn into a handsome guy and compete head-on. Hearing this, a blush appeared on his snow-white face. He just made a few casual complaints just now, but he didn't expect that Wen Jiu would actually hear it. So he apologized in shame. I promise I won't say that again. I will compete fairly with Hubaba, and I will defeat her with my strength. After that, Wen Jiu gave him a faint smile. Then he quickly got back to work and didn't pay attention to Hubaba's situation. Everyone was busy until the evening, and after sending the last customer away, they all collapsed on their chairs to rest. Everyone's performance today was very good. Wen Jiu began the praise session as usual to encourage the friends to keep up the good work, especially Hukiki, who was like an emotionless cooking machine in the afternoon and exceeded the task. Of course, the chestnut flower group is also very powerful, attracting many new customers to Teoiao. There were 3 digits of new customers who applied for membership cards in the afternoon. Fortunately, Miss Tao responded quickly and completed the cards in time. Nini is becoming more and more skilled in her waiter position. The speed of serving and cleaning is much faster than before. And Ahij, who has multiple jobs, is amazing. He is simply a god who fills in. She praised each of the friends, even Miss Tao. In the end, only the newly joined Hubaba was left. The other party changed his charming attitude in the afternoon and was eagerly waiting for her praise. Seeing this, she still spoke very fairly. Hubaba's hands and feet are still very nimble. After Nini took care of him for a short while in the afternoon, he can work as a waiter on his own. From this point, I can see that Hubaba has a promising future. In fact, in terms of flattering, she is no less than her friends, but she doesn't like to flatter normally. Hehe, I feel embarrassed because of the boss's flattery. Hubaba pretended to be shy. In fact, I still have a lot to learn, so please take care of me. At first, when she met Wen Jiu and his group, she thought that her fox charm was useless. As a result, countless humans came in the afternoon, and she realized that it was not that her charm was useless, but that Wen Jiu and his group did not buy it at all. In fact, if you think about it, you can know that, although Wen Jiu is still young, he can already see his stunning face. The other party's fangs and pointed ears also have a wild beauty that ordinary humans don't have. Even she wanted to take a few more glances. And the young handsome man who hit her with red dates also has a skin comparable to that of a male vixen. No wonder he looked down on her illusion of beauty. But the one who attracted her the most was the red-haired girl, because she looked weirdly beautiful, the kind that you can't forget after just one look. As for the remaining two children, one was a delicate and beautiful young man, born beautiful but not feminine, and it can be seen that he will be a beautiful boy in the future. The other little girl was sweet and cute, and she was obviously a beauty at first glance. The crescent eyes when she smiled would even bewitch her for a few seconds. It can be said that this group of humans all have good faces. No wonder her beauty trick that never fails would fail. So she simply gave up the temptation of beauty and thought about working honestly for a while. Unexpectedly, this method is really effective. When Jiu is praising her, it seems that she, Baba, is still quite capable. Thinking of this, she looked at Ukiki with contempt. Although she is not as talented and capable as Ukiki, she is particularly smart and has a very flexible mind, so she will squeeze the other out sooner or later. Seeing Baba's confident look, everyone couldn't help but recall their own silly looks in the past. Especially Zikingayu and Chujian. They looked at each other in tacit understanding. After confirming their rise, they were all people who were blown by Wen Jiu's rainbow fart. Seeing this, Wen Jiu just nodded indifferently. As long as you are willing to study hard, you can be a waiter first. After you get used to it, I will arrange a new job for you. The rainbow fart can be blown here. If it is blown again, it will seem fake. As a master of blowing rainbow farts, she will definitely grasp the degree. When Baba heard this, he immediately perked up. Boss, don't worry. I will study hard and do my best as a waiter. Hearing this, she deepened her smile and continued, by the way, we provide food and accommodation here, and we also get a sum of star coins every month. If you perform well, you can also get a bonus. Star coins? Is it the currency used in the human world? When the other party heard the word star coins, his eyes sparkled. Then can I buy after I have star coins? I want the beautiful clothes that Ukiki wears. Well, another shopping maniac. And like Ukiki, he has an inexplicable obsession with pet clothes. These foxes are too weird. Seeing this, Wen Jiu breathed a sigh of relief. Yes, there are a lot of star coins in the basic salary every month. Enough for you to go crazy shopping in the mall. You have to grasp the degree of drawing big cakes. She can stop after revealing a general idea. If she says more, her words will seem false. So she changed the topic at the right time and began to tell everyone to clean up. Today's second update has also been delivered. Thank you to every little angel for your support and company. Mua 030. Chapter 840. Let's eat Beggar's Chicken 1. Wow. Your houses are so luxurious. They are much more beautiful than my home. So many beautiful flowers and plants. It must be so nice to roll around on them. Is this the elevator? It's so magical. Are we going to get home? I'm so looking forward to it. When Jiu couldn't leave Baba alone outside, and she promised him that she would provide him with food and accommodation, so she took the fox back to Donghu Garden. But she didn't expect that Baba started to praise wildly as soon as he arrived at the gate of the garden. The other party looked so sincere, without any falsehood at all, that she didn't know how to respond. Fortunately, Ukiki understood Baba. As soon as he entered the house, he jumped onto the sofa and said proudly in the manner of master, "Oh, my home is of course more beautiful than yours, you earth fox living in a cave." Baba originally wanted to refute Ukiki, but when she thought that these humans were on the other side, she would definitely suffer if she refuted, so she silently swallowed the rest of the words. It was indeed the first time for her to see such a beautiful garden and such a luxurious house. The main reason was that as a snow fox, she had lived in an extremely cold place for a long time, so she had never seen the beautiful scene of flowers blooming on green grass. Linkinai lived in an old house left by her parents. Not only was the community environment not as beautiful as Donghu Garden, but even the decoration inside the house was not as luxurious as Wen Jiu's home. Therefore, in her opinion, this place was really like a fairyland. Okay, Ukiki, come with me to the kitchen, and the others can do what they should do. Wen Jiu spoke at the right time to help Hubaba out. She first brought Ukiki into the kitchen, and then arranged for Kaioshishi and Zikingayu to go find Hubaba and have a good exchange. She originally wanted Ukiki to communicate with Hubaba. After all, there is a saying that when fellow villagers meet, their eyes are filled with tears. But it is obvious that the relationship between Ukiki and Hubaba is very bad, and it is impossible to have a good exchange for the time being. So she handed the task to Kaioshishi and Zikingayu. With these two friends, who love to chat and like to be lively, Hubaba will surely be able to integrate into the big family soon. When Hubaba is honest and treats her sincerely, she can start the plan to recruit employees. As expected of her, smart Jiu. Master, do you not love me anymore? Ukiki started to make a fuss as soon as she entered the kitchen. Do you think Hubaba is as beautiful as a fairy, so you dislike my appearance as a little boy? Because his spiritual power was unstable, and he could not maintain his adult form, he could only show himself as a teenager in his teens. Hearing this, Wen Jiu answered, while searching for food in the refrigerator, that's not the reason. Besides, you look pretty good now, especially like the doll I bought before. When she said this, she remembered that she also had a cotton doll Luyan version. She took it out and placed it at the head of the bed. It was quite pleasing to look at every day. When she was free, she would go to Donghu Commercial Street and buy a few new clothes for the cotton doll to wear. Oh really? Ukiki took the 3 yellow chickens she handed over. Then master will not be confused by Hubaba's beauty, right? She wanted to roll her eyes when she heard this. Although she liked to appreciate beautiful women, she was not a person who forgot her friends for beauty. Besides, who can compare to Luyan in terms of beauty? But she was still the same. She would take action when she should and would never let him go. Although Hubaba was indeed very beautiful when she turned into a human, she was extremely charming but not vulgar, and her every frown and smile was full of charm. But she had seen beautiful women of the same style before, so she would not be confused. So when Jiu answered earnestly, no, my concentration is unmatched. So don't worry about it, just cook dinner tonight. After she finished speaking, she began to teach Ukiki how to prepare the 3 yellow chickens, and asked Chujian to go to the supermarket to buy some planting soil. After a while, Ukiki prepared the 3 yellow chickens, and Chujian also bought soil back. Here, the most common kind of planting soil. Chujian handed the bag to Wen Jiu. Didn't you ask Dr. Zhu to bring back a lot of soil before? Why do you want me to buy this most common planting soil? After he finished speaking, the other party only said softly, because I can't bear to use such expensive soil to make beggar chicken. I asked you to go to the small supermarket to buy ordinary soil. If I didn't want to be fined for destroying the greening of the community, I would ask you to go downstairs and dig some yellow soil. Hearing this, he first secretly sighed that Wen Jiu was really stingy, and then he was very curious about what kind of food can be made with soil. The main reason was that he didn't go to Dianyi Forest with Wen Jiu and others, so naturally he didn't know that soil was needed to make beggar chicken. So he didn't say anything more, just stood at the door of the kitchen and watched. Because Ukiki had already marinated the chicken, Wen Jiu directly cut a few slices of green onion and ginger and spread them on the outside of the chicken together with the spices. Then she took the lotus leaf and wrapped the chicken tightly, then smeared the prepared yellow mud, and finally put the mud ball into the oven to slowly bake. Let's make do with a simple version of beggar's chicken tonight, she explained while slicing cucumber. The authentic beggar's chicken is baked with a pile of firewood, but I can't make a pile of firewood at home. Don't burn my house down. Chujian was amused and chuckled. It's okay, we are moving in 2 days. You can make a pile of firewood in the garden then. Muleo has already set out on his way home, and his villa is now empty. No, it should be called Wen Jiu's villa now. That's right, I plan to move the day after tomorrow morning. Wen Jiu put the slicing cucumber into the bowl. Do you want to live with us in Zishan district? What else? Don't you want to live with me? Chujian said as he took a few steps forward, just blocking Wen Jiu's way to get the ingredients. Although the other person is getting taller and taller, his height of 1.88 meters is not false. He lowered his head with interest and met Wen Jiu's puzzled eyes. Why? Could I be right? No, I just thought that if you live in Zishan district, wouldn't it be troublesome to visit Grandpa Jiu in the future? After the other party finished speaking, before he could react, he pushed him away forcefully. Just talk. Why are you blocking the way? Hearing this, he couldn't help but laugh. I just want to make some sense of existence, so that you won't be confused by the nonsense. Also, you didn't forget that Teo Iao is in Danghu shopping mall, right? I can go back to see Grandpa in my spare time. This is the third update of the day. It has been delivered on time. Thanks again to the little angels for their support. 030. Chapter 841. Let's eat Beggar's Chicken 2. After Chu Jian reminded her, Wen Jiu finally thought of this. So she answered with a clear face, yes, you can go home to see Grandpa Jiu after get off work. You don't have to live in Zishan district every day. As for the previous sentence, said by the other party, she automatically ignored it. She really didn't understand why everyone was worried that she would be deceived by Hu Baba. Did she have the words "I'm easy to fool" written on her face? Fortunately, Chu Jian didn't talk about anything that was not mentioned, otherwise she would really be angry. She looks smart, okay? She doesn't look like a fool who is easily fooled. It's like this, I have many opportunities to go home, so you don't have to worry about this problem. The other party left this sentence lightly, and then walked out of the kitchen slowly. Seeing this, she continued to look for ingredients. Because a 3 yellow chicken is not enough for 5 people and 2 foxes, she still has to cook a few dishes for dinner. So she quickly mixed a portion of cold noodles, and asked Kiki to stir fry a fish flavored eggplant. Pick some tomatoes you planted, and bring them in. We can have dinner by frying some tomato scrambled eggs. When Jiu first asked Stephanie to bring out the prepared dishes, and then called Kiki to pick fresh tomatoes on the balcony. She asked Zhu Wangming to bring back the best soil for planting. The seeds would sprout, bloom and bear fruit in a few days, so they could eat freshly picked vegetables and fruits every day. When Kiki came back with the tomatoes, her beggar chicken was already baked. So she asked him to make tomato scrambled eggs, and she walked out with the mud ball. As a fox, Hu Baba was most sensitive to the aroma of chicken. The moment the beggar chicken came out of the oven, she smelled the fragrance. Even though the beggar chicken was still wrapped in mud, she could smell the aroma. That moved her heart. But just when she was about to move her nose to take a closer look, she saw Wen Jiu walking out with a mud ball, and she thought there was something wrong with her nose. Boss, what are you holding? She came to the front of the table with curiosity and looked carefully at the mud ball in the middle. Hearing this, Wen Jiu patiently explained, this is beggar's chicken. As long as you dig out the mud outside, you can eat the chicken inside. As she spoke, she used a hammer to break the mud shell and expose the beggar's chicken hidden inside. The rich and tempting aroma wafted out, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Everyone sat down at the table in unison, and even Kiki hurriedly prepared tomato scrambled eggs and hurried to the living room to eat beggar's chicken. Nini has performed very well recently, so I want to reward her with a chicken leg. When Jiu said as he put on gloves and pulled a chicken leg to Stephanie. The chestnut flower group has also worked very hard, so I will reward each of them with a chicken wing. Kiki has worked hard during this period, so eat a chicken leg to replenish your body. As for our all-purpose tool Manhij, eat some chicken to satisfy your appetite. She distributed chicken to everyone while talking, and Hu Baba's eyes turned green. A fragrant beggar chicken was torn apart in a short time. In the end, Hu Baba only got a piece of chicken breast, which made her feel very sad. But before she could ask a question, she heard Wen Jiu slowly say, as you can see, our rule is to reward according to merit. As long as you work hard and seriously, you can not only get your salary, but also enjoy a variety of delicious food. After the voice fell, the others lowered their heads to hold back their laughter, and only Hu Baba listened eagerly. Okay, I will definitely work harder. She stared at the chicken breast in the bowl with shining eyes. Next time I want to eat a big chicken leg too. After saying that, she took the shiny chicken breast and took a bite. The delicious chicken surprised her greatly, and the fragrant juice burst out instantly. The chicken skin on the outside was crispy, and the chicken inside was fresh. fragrant, and tender. She had never eaten such delicious food before. Woo, woo, so human food is so delicious. She really couldn't help it and shed 2 lines of tears. It was the right choice for me to come out and make a living. I don't want to go back to my hometown at all now. When she was in her hometown, let alone eating a hot meal, it was very difficult to eat chicken once. There is not much food to eat in the extremely cold land. It's nothing more than eating some ice fish or snow rabbits. Even wild fruits can't be found. No wonder who Kiki recognized this human as the boss. If she could eat such delicious chicken every day, she would be willing to be a hard-working younger brother. She was still hesitating in the afternoon whether to run away after saving enough star coins. Now she just wanted to stay with Wen Jiu and eat for the rest of her life. Sorry, beggar's chicken is so delicious. The tender and juicy chicken has a crispy skin. Every time she takes a bite, she sighs from the bottom of her heart that there is such delicious food in the world. When the full meat aroma is about to dissipate, there is still a faint fragrance of lotus leaves lingering between her lips and teeth. Fragrant. It is so fragrant. The delicate chicken is full of fresh and fragrant juice, and every bite can send her to the fairyland for a tour. She thinks that such delicious food is probably eaten by the gods, otherwise how can she have a feeling of being free and happy like a god? Slow down the chewing speed. Each chicken shred has an attractive fresh fragrance, and the taste is soft and tender, but not losing toughness. This is definitely the best chicken she has ever eaten. Unknowingly, Baba finished her own portion of beggar's chicken. Wow, it's so delicious. It's so delicious. She couldn't stop crying. Just like a faucet was turned on, and she kept crying. Seeing this, Wen Jiu showed a meaningful smile. If you like it, I will make you a whole beggar's chicken as a reward when you perform better. As for how much better it is unknown. Wow. Okay, boss, don't worry, I will do whatever you say in the future. She didn't expect Wen Jiu to be so good to her, and was willing to give her a whole chicken as a reward, knowing that other people could only eat a little meat. Such good treatment really made her conscience hurt. Thinking back to the fact that she was still planning to run away in the afternoon, she was both regretful and guilty at this moment. But after being moved, she suddenly remembered something. Boss, the beggar's chicken you made is really delicious, Baba said, while wiping away tears, but the quality of the ingredients is a little worse. Do you want to change to better ingredients? Although she could only eat rabbits and fish raw before, those foods were full of spiritual energy. Even if it is eaten raw, the texture and taste are quite good. As for the ingredients used by Wen Jiu to make beggar's chicken, she found them to be very ordinary. It must be that his cooking skills are very superb, so he can make this chicken so delicious. If Wen Jiu is willing to change to higher quality ingredients, the taste of beggar's chicken will surely be even better. This is the first update of today. Please check it out, my lovely little angels. 030. Chapter 842 I became a werewolf 1. Hearing this, Wen Jiu replied speechlessly, the 3 yellow chicken I used to make beggar's chicken is already a high quality ingredient. 3 yellow chickens are free-range broilers, famous for their tender meat and delicious taste. The 3 yellow chickens in the StarCraft are larger than modern ones, and the meat quality and taste are improved to a higher level. She bought one before and cooked it, and it was snatched away within 10 minutes of being served. She thought it was very good at the time, so she bought several more and froze them in the refrigerator. It happened that there was only one 3 yellow chicken left today, so she took it out and made a beggar's chicken. Unexpectedly, Baba thought that the quality of such chicken was not good enough. Could it be that the other party had eaten better quality ingredients? As it turned out, she was right. Baba wiped her tears with her hand, and in the blink of an eye, she changed into a happy expression. Although I have never come into contact with the ingredients sold in human society, I can guarantee that the ingredients from my hometown are definitely better in terms of quality. As soon as the other party finished speaking, Kiki, who had just finished eating a chicken leg, said, "Oh, that's for sure. The ingredients from my hometown are full of spiritual energy, and the purest ones are of course better to eat." Hearing this, Wen Jiu couldn't help but fall into deep thought. Of course, She knew that ingredients with spiritual energy were better, but the problem was that, even if she went to the hometown of the two foxes, there would not be so many ingredients to supply her. At most, she could bring back some wild ingredients. But even if she brought them back, it wouldn't be enough for her to sell. Humbaba seemed to have seen through her thoughts, and quickly told her a very important piece of information. Boss, although our fox tribe is not good at cultivating and farming, there is a demon tribe that is particularly good at this. She became interested when she heard this. Oh, which demon tribe is it? Is it also on your native planet? Do they have people in the human world? Her 3 questions in a row made Humbaba even happier. But before the other party could open his mouth, Hukiki answered, Oh, I know. It's the Jade Rabbit clan. They live in the Mirage, where it's spring all year round, and every day they do nothing but farm. Wen Jiu's eyes widened immediately after she finished speaking. She was really amazed that there was such a demon clan, because the Jade Rabbits she knew were pounding medicine on the moon. It was the first time she knew that there was an entire clan of Jade Rabbits, and they were particularly fond of farming. She had always wanted to find a food supplier, so that not only would the supply be stable, but she could also reduce the cost of the food. This was really like sending a pillow when you are sleepy. The Jade Rabbits and our Fox clan are from the same planet. Fox Baba swallowed the breath that was taken away from him and answered the remaining 2 questions with a smile. As far as I know, there should be no Jade Rabbits coming to the human world, because the Jade Rabbits can be self-sufficient, and their general cultivation is low, and they have little combat power, so they have been hiding in the Mirage to avoid the world. After she finished speaking, Wen Jiu was still thinking silently without saying a word. Kaioshishi on the side asked curiously, since the Jade Rabbits are hiding in the Mirage, how do you know all this? Well, we are all monsters. There is nothing we don't know. She had a good impression of this human girl, so she explained a few more words to her. The vegetables and fruits grown by the Jade Rabbits are of excellent quality, and we sometimes exchange them with the prey we catch. The Mirage is not as boundless as the normal world, and it is always in the warm spring, so the Jade Rabbit clan will occasionally send some of its people out to exchange things with us monsters living in the polar regions. Wen Jiu only recovered her thoughts after she finished talking this time. The other party first asked her a few questions about the Jade Rabbit tribe, and then talked about when to leave for her native planet. Just as everyone was discussing seriously, Wen Jiu's thoughts drifted away again. She had visited the Star Network supermarket before, and bought many ingredients produced by different planets. However, she had never found any ingredients containing spiritual energy, which was enough to prove that spiritual energy did not exist on most planets. Therefore, the hometown of Hukiki and Humbaba can be described as very rare. Therefore, even if there was no Jade Rabbit tribe, she would still go there. First, it was to absorb spiritual energy and refine spiritual power so that she could regain her previous cultivation, so that she could suppress the animal genes that were ready to move in her body. Second, it was to help Chujian adapt to the transformation of form, and by the way, let the other party suppress the mutation before going to the military academy. As for the third, it was to satisfy Hukiki's wish to return home in glory. In short, for all the reasons added up, she must go on this trip. However, the key question now is when is the best time for her to leave. As for who to take with them, that was a question to be considered later. Jiug, Teo Iao can't live without you. Zikingai wanted to beat Humbaba up now. Why did the other party keep coaxing Wen Jiu to run away? After that, Kaioshishi, who was sitting next to him, also echoed, yes, Jiu, Teo Iao can't live without you now. If you and Hukiki leave, Teo Iao will have no dessert chef. Because they didn't know when they would be able to come back, and the 3047 Academy would start school in more than a month, so the two of them couldn't go with Wen Jiu. As for Chujian and Stephanie, as long as they hadn't applied for military school, there would be no worries about the start of school. Even if they stayed in Hukiki's hometown for a year, it would only delay the time of enrollment. This made the two children very sad. They both hoped that Wen Jiu would wait until school started before leaving. In this way, at least the two of them would be busy with classes every day, so they wouldn't be too sad about this matter. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. Wen Jiu said calmly, I plan to leave for Hukika's native planet in the middle of next month. Ah. Why? Zikingayu asked in confusion. Sister Jiu, can't we wait until school starts before leaving? However, the other party shook her head, shattering the little hope in his heart. It's not that I want to make you sad, but some things can't be delayed. Wen Jiu took a long breath and explained the reasons one by one. In fact, finding the Jade Rabbit clan and Hukika's return home in glory are the second most important things. The most important thing is to slow down the changes of Brother Hei and me. Although the two of us drink potions every day, there are some things that cannot be suppressed by drinking potions. As she spoke, she stood up and lifted up her shirt. Seeing this, Zikingayu's first reaction was to cover his eyes. But he thought that Wen Jiu would not do such a thing for no reason, so he quickly put down his hands and then observed carefully. Today's second update has also been successfully delivered. Thank you to every little angel for your support and companionship. Kak, woohoo, I love you so much. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 843 I Became a Werewolf too. Wen Jiu's fair lower back was covered with a layer of light grey hair. When the light shone on it, it would emit a little silver light. Did you see that? I'm going to become a werewolf, she sighed helplessly. You don't want me to really turn into a werewolf when I wake up, do you? At first, she just felt a little itchy in her lower back, and it was not until she took a shower the day before yesterday that she found that a patch of grey wolf hair had grown. To be honest, she was stunned at the time. Although she knew that she had animal genes in her body and her animal ears and tail would pop up from time to time. But she never thought that she would grow wolf hair on her body. She felt that she would turn into a werewolf in the next second, which was really terrifying. Fortunately, in addition to her growing hair, Chu Jian also grew hair on his body, but the difference was that of cat hair and wolf hair. Brother Hei and I have tried several methods, and we increased the dosage as Dr. Zhu said, but it didn't work at all. The hair is still there. Later, I had an idea and used my spiritual power to cover my lower back. I didn't expect that the grey hair actually subsided a little. Then I tried this method on Brother Hei and found that it was quite effective. When Jiu recounted what happened in the past few days, and Zikingayu and Kaioshishi were worried. She didn't mean to hide it from the two children. She just didn't think about how to start. In fact, Stephanie and Hukiki didn't know about this, but the man and the fox lived in their own world. As long as it didn't involve them, they wouldn't be too curious. The former is purely without empathy, and the latter is simply heartless. Sister Jiu, how could this happen? Zikingayu looked at her with great concern. Does it mean that only that spiritual power can suppress the animal genes? Hearing this, she nodded hesitantly. Actually, I don't know much, but from the current point of view, it is indeed the case. If this is the case, you should set off earlier. Kaioshishi no longer felt sad, and she was now worried about Wen Jiu. Just Jiu, if there is anything in the future, you must tell us. Don't hide it from us anymore, okay? In fact, she could understand why Wen Jiu didn't say it. If she encountered such a thing, she didn't know how to start. But from a friend's perspective, she didn't want the other party to hide it like this. After the words fell, Wen Jiu responded very sincerely, I know, I won't hide it from you anymore. I'm really sorry. Fortunately, Kaioshishi and Zikingayu didn't bother about this, so they quickly returned to the topic of departure. The approximate date was set, but they still had to rent an interstellar spaceship. This matter can be handed over to my brother. Zikingayu immediately helped Zizu take the task. He will definitely be able to get an interstellar spaceship, and maybe he can even help you get a pilot. Because OS Pharmaceutical, which Zizu manages, often exports pharmaceuticals. The other party already has several interstellar spaceships as spares. It is indeed much more convenient to let Zizu help solve the problem than to find a spaceship by themselves. Hearing this, Wen Jiu nodded in agreement. Okay, I'll go to find him next door when your brother gets off work. After solving the problem of the interstellar spaceship, the topic returned to the departure time. Jiu, how long do you plan to stay there? Kyoshi frowned with some concern. You can't really stay there for a year. Hei Genini still have to go to military school. She was worried about Chujian and Stephanie. Secondly, she mainly didn't want to be separated from Wen Jiu for too long. It shouldn't be a year. The Jade Rabbit tribe is easy to deceive and easy to talk to. Baba, who had been silent all the time, finally found an opportunity to interrupt. Although she didn't understand how to suppress the mutation and didn't understand why Wen Jiu had wolf hair on his body, she could see the situation clearly. These humans were talking about it. Isn't it just a matter of time? After the voice fell, Wen Jiu thought for a long time before answering. I will try to rush back after finishing my business. Anyway, there is a signal from Hukika's native planet, and we can contact with the wisdom ring. To be honest, she estimated that this trip would take 3 or 4 months, but it was really hard to say how long she would stay. It mainly depends on whether she can recover her cultivation as soon as possible, and when Chujian can learn to transform. As for finding the Jade Rabbit clan, she thinks that with Baba here, it won't take long. After all, the little rabbits who work hard in the fields every day are easy to deceive and talk to. Then what about Teoiao? Zikingai knew that Wen Jiu had to go, so she didn't try to persuade him to delay. Jiuji, you and Hukiki are the pillars of the family. Who will be the dessert chef when you leave? After he finished speaking, Wen Jiu smiled and said, don't worry about that. Miss Tao is already qualified to be a dessert chef. I will bring back a bionic man in 2 days, so that we will have 2 chefs before we leave. I also ordered 2 beverage machines in Xinguang supermarket, which can automatically mix beverages after entering the formula. At that time, I will leave Nini here and let your brother arrange 2 people to be waiters. There will be no problem for Teoiao to continue its business smoothly. It's not that Wen Jiu intends to isolate Stephanie, but she is quite confident in her ability. With Stephanie's strong fighting ability, it is difficult to find an equal opponent. Unless someone can hire a level 7 superpower to cause trouble. Otherwise, ordinary people will definitely not be able to beat the opponent. Besides, she will not leave Stephanie alone to watch the store. When she came up with the idea of going to Hukika's hometown, she discussed it seriously with Uruman. The other party supported her to go on this trip and said that they would arrange for someone from Fenan to guard Teoiao after she left. In addition to Uruman's heavy insurance, she also planned to ask Ziziu to help. Teoiao is their common cause after all, so it's not too much for the other party to do some security, right? She is not alone now, so she has to use some connections. In short, there is no need to worry about Teoiao's situation. Don't worry, I'll try to come back as soon as possible. Wen Jiu was also helpless about leaving early. She originally thought that it would be like Ruman recovering almost, and Teoiao's condition would also stabilize at that time, and then go to Hukika's native planet. She never thought that her and Chujian's mutations would suddenly worsen, and at present, only spiritual power coverage can slow down the speed of mutations. But if she stays on planet 3047, the spiritual power in her body will increase with the level of her supernatural power. It will take a long time to upgrade this ability. The key is that Chujian has no spiritual power at all. He might turn into a cat one day and never turn back into a human. So the other party can't delay for too long. There is really no other choice, so she will go to Hukika's hometown in advance. Today's third update has also been delivered smoothly. Please check it out, my lovely little angels. 030. Chapter 844. I became a werewolf 3. At the end of the chat, everyone was feeling a little heavy. Perhaps it was because of the upcoming separation, or perhaps it was because of the sudden and aggravated changes. Everyone looked depressed. As an optimist, Zio Kingai particularly disliked this atmosphere. So he stopped everyone who was about to leave the table. Don't leave, have you forgotten something? Hearing this, Wen Jiu turned back in confusion. Aren't we done talking? We will set off in the middle of next month. Your brother will provide the interstellar spacecraft, and I will take brother Harry and the Fox twins away. We have finished talking about your departure. He raised his chin mysteriously, but we haven't decided which military academy to apply for yet. You and brother Harry don't know when you will be back, so you have to give me and Shishi a goal to strive for. He and Shishi did not have a place in the military academy, but they had a priority to move up, so the two still needed to study hard to improve themselves. However, the admission requirements of each military academy are different, and they have to set a goal to strive for. After the words fell, Wen Jiu sat back in the chair. Well, then you tell me your ideas first. In fact, she had already chosen the military school she was going to apply for, but she also had to consider the ideas of her friends. Xiao Bangli and I have talked privately several times before. Shishi decisively betrayed Zikingayu. We both want to apply for the Imperial Capital Military Academy or the Ria Military Academy. Hearing this, she couldn't help but ask curiously, why? Zikingayu, who was betrayed, was very helpless and could only honestly explain her thoughts. We read a lot of news about the 5 major military academies, whether it's official news or student blogs. We both read a lot and analyzed some things. The Imperial Capital Military Academy and the Ria Military Academy are both well-rounded. There is no particular school or department, and the educational resources of each school are not much different, which is very suitable for our comprehensive team. Like the Quanang Pavilion and the Heirs Military Academy, they either tend to assist mecha soldiers or armed mecha soldiers, which are not suitable for our team. As for Beichuan Academy, the exam is too difficult. My brother even used my pocket money to threaten me and not allow me to take the exam for Beichuan Academy. Zikingayu explained the reasons one by one, and everyone fell into deep thought. However, they had discussed this topic several times before, so no one thought about it for too long. Chu Jian was the first to express his opinion. If I have to choose between Ruai Military Academy and Imperial Capital Military Academy, then I will choose the former. As he finished speaking, Wen Jiu cast his eyes on him. What's the reason? Hearing this, his eyebrows and eyes were full of vigor and vitality. These 2 military academies are all-round development types, but there is a gap in educational resources. But this does not affect me. I can reach the top without relying on resources. He became a 7th level superpower at this age, not relying on the gene fusion of the 3rd military region, but his extraordinary talent and perseverance. Well, it's a reason. Wen Jiu nodded thoughtfully. What about Chestnut Flower? Which military academy do you want to apply for? Shishi and Zikingayu, who were named, looked at each other and then said their choices in unison. Ria Military Academy. Ria Military Academy. This was the result of the 2 people's previous discussion, but they had been waiting for Wen Jiu to make a choice, so they didn't say their decision early. But now Wen Jiu took the initiative to ask, so of course they had to give an answer. Seeing that Shishi and Zikingayu both chose Ria Military Academy, Wen Jiu looked at Stephanie, who was sitting next to him. The other party still looked as if it had nothing to do with her and was still poking at the light screen panel. Seeing this, she coughed twice to remind him. Ahem, Nini, have you decided which military academy to go to? Although she had the answer in her mind, she still wanted to ask. Well, I don't care, as long as I'm with you, I can go anywhere. Stephanie turned her head with a smile. So let Xiao Jiu help me make a choice as expected. The other party didn't care which military academy to go to at all. This answer was exactly the same as she expected. So she supported her chin with one hand and thought for a moment, and then spoke in the expectant eyes of everyone. Actually, I also want to choose Ria Military Academy. I didn't expect that you and I have the same idea. As soon as she finished speaking, Shishi and Zikingayu clapped their hands excitedly, while Chu Jian wore an expected smile. As for Stephanie, she didn't even raise her head and was still poking the light screen panel. It can be seen that the other party really doesn't care about these. On the contrary, Hukiki and Hubaba, who have nothing to do with this matter, both look extremely excited. Since our wishes are the same, Wen Jiu tapped the table lightly with his fingers. Then let's go to talk to Teacher Yu tomorrow morning. If there are no problems, Brother Harry and I will submit the registration information first. Although they are not in a hurry, To enroll in the new semester, it will be more convenient to submit the information to the federal headquarters as soon as possible to handle the procedures and other procedures later. After the words fell, the others nodded in agreement. Since the chat was over, everyone started to clean up and then went back to their rooms to rest. But before Wen Jiu returned to his room, he went to the next door, room 903. It happened that Ziziu came back from get off work, so she discussed with him for a while. First, the problem of the interstellar spacecraft and the pilot was solved, and then the manpower problem of Teo Iao, after she left, was solved. Did I owe you a favor in my last life? Ziziu pinched his eyebrows helplessly. I feel like you really have me in your hands. He originally expected Wen Jiu to let him lie down and count the money, but he never thought that he would have to do it himself in the end. But he could understand the other party, so he just teased him. He could see that Wen Jiu still wanted to stay and make money, but the incident happened suddenly, and he had to solve it. Don't worry, I will pay the people you arranged to help in Teo Iao as usual. The other party thought that he felt that the money was not enough, and the cost of the interstellar spacecraft and the hiring of pilots. I will transfer them to you according to the market price. Hearing this, he couldn't help but laugh. I'm not worried about the money. I have plenty of money, okay? I was just joking. I don't need you to take money from me. He and Wen Jiu are both partners and friends. Even if he usually distinguishes between public and private, he will not take this opportunity to make a fortune when the other party encounters such a difficult situation. So he added that he would cover all the expenses this time, and Wen Jiu didn't need to pay out of his own pocket, as long as he could move into the villa and eat. This is the first update of the day, please check it out. Little Angels 030. Chapter 845. Sun Badao has a backer 1. To Wen Jiu, Ziziu's request was very simple, so she readily agreed. She chatted with him for a while, and then returned to her home. As soon as she entered the bedroom, she saw Kao Shishi lying on the bed and browsing Xingbo. Shishi, I'm going to set up a stall in Xingwang World. Do you want to go with me tonight? She has been setting up a stall in Xingwang World every night recently, on the one hand, to let customers find the authentic Sun Badao, and on the other hand, to prepare for Teo Iao's online store. Teo Iao's online store has been decorated long ago, but she hasn't hired enough people to open it. So when she goes to Xingwang World tonight, in addition to setting up a stall to earn some money, she also has to go to the recruitment market to hire a few people. After saying that, Kao Shishi shook her head. I won't go. Didi has finally released her first album. I have to fight for the charts with other Didi fans. Okay, I'll ask the others. Wen Jiu said, and clicked on the group chat. She directly tagged everyone. Jiu is rich. Is there anyone who wants to go to the Star Network World to set up a stall with me? At ALL members King Gayu Xianshan Xiang Shang, Sister Jiu, I have an appointment with my classmates to play games, so I won't go with you to set up a stall. Rabbit expression pack. Nini likes Jiu. Well, I can't go either. I have to edit the immersive Macup removal video tonight, and my fans have been urging me for more than a week. Little Jiu. Please don't be angry with me. Nini likes Jiu, but if little Jiu wants me to go with you, I can put the video aside and edit it tomorrow. Jian is really speechless. Forget it, you guys just do what you have to do. I'll just go with Wen Jiu. After chatting for a while, only Chu Jian was idle. So after she and the other party set a coordinate point, she closed her eyes and entered the Star Network World. It is definitely necessary to set up a stall, and the customers are all local tyrants. When you are lucky, it is not a dream to make 100,000 or 1 million yuan a night. Of course, Wen Jiu was reluctant to pay the rent. She felt that her star coins were wasted after paying the rent, but not setting up a stall. Although she could earn back the rent overnight, as the saying goes, a mosquito is still meat. Master Sun, you are here. I'm the first one to line up at the stall tonight. Can you please sell me a fortune-bringing talisman? Master Sun is here to set up a stall. Don't wander around. Come and line up quickly. Master Sun, you are finally here. I have been waiting here for more than an hour. Please help me tell a fortune. One after another, eager customers gathered quickly, fearing that they would fall behind and miss the opportunity to tell fortunes and buy talismans. Seeing this, Chujayan immediately changed into the bodyguard look he specially made, wearing a signature black suit and standard sunglasses. Don't squeeze, line up. If anyone disrupts the order, Master Sun will not receive them. He also secretly raised his height by 2 centimeters, making him look tall, mighty and intimidating. People seek profit and avoid harm. The customers who originally formed a circle formed a long line in just a few seconds. Although there were 1 or 2 who tried to cut in line, they were caught and sent away happily. With Chujayan, a competent bodyguard, Wen Jiu's stall business went very smoothly. Have you changed your palm prints? She glanced at the middle-aged man in front of her with disdain. I don't accept customers who use virtual images. Go by yourself. I won't send you off. Although the other party only changed his palm prints, she was unwilling to accept this customer for safety reasons. After saying this, the middle-aged man in front of her was a little embarrassed. I just don't want to leave fingerprints in the Star Network world. Besides, you don't just look at my palm prints when you tell fortunes. Why can't you tell mine? My rule is not to tell fortunes for people who use virtual images. She pointed to the sign next to her. It's clearly written here. Why don't you take a look? Although she can distinguish customers who use virtual images, there will inevitably be people who want to fish in troubled waters. Obviously, the middle-aged man who had been refusing to leave was this kind of person. Hearing this, the other party put on a desperate face. I have worked hard to queue for more than half an hour. You can't just let me leave like this? Oh, then what do you want? Wen Jiu looked at her with a cold face. She has been setting up the stall for such a long time, and she has seen all kinds of scoundrels, but those people's fighting ability is not good, and she has sent them all to repent and reform. Seeing that she seemed to be about to give in, the middle-aged man immediately crossed his legs and began to show off. You sell me 5 fortune-bringing talismans, and I won't make a fuss about this. After all, I have been queuing for such a long time, I can't go back empty-handed. If you drive me away like this, don't blame me for complaining to the Xinguang Night Market Management Office. These people behind you all respectfully call you Master Sun. You don't want your name to be ruined, right? She has seen shameless people, but she has never seen such a shameless person. It was clearly written on the sign next to it that customers using virtual images would not be accepted. But this person wanted to fish in troubled waters and wanted to turn the tables after being discovered. This is really awesome. Wen Jiu rolled up his sleeves to reveal his full muscles and then said coldly with a rough face full of beard, I think you are ugly, but you think beautifully. You want to find trouble with me, Sun Badeo, right? Don't you look in the mirror and see what kind of ability you have. After she finished speaking, she picked up a fixed body talisman and stuck it on the forehead of the person in front of her with lightning speed. Hey, Captain Bay, I have a customer who wants to be educated. Please arrange someone to come and pick him up. Okay, I'll ask the nearest security personnel to go over right away. What a joke. She now has the support of the Xinguang Night Market Management Office, not the Sun Badeo who used to be more troublesome. If you dare to find trouble in her stall, you should first weigh your own weight. She even threatened to complain to the Starlight Night Market Management Office about her, and that if this person really had the guts, she would be kicked out of the Starlight Night Market. But in just a few minutes, a well-trained security team rushed over. Master Sun, please continue. The leading captain and a teammate directly picked up the middle-aged man. We will patrol around here tonight. If you have anything, just shout. Although the security team sent by the management office is different each time, they all know that Wen Jiu has a treasure like the immobilization talisman. Therefore, the captain and the team members were only surprised for a moment and soon regained their composure. Hearing this, Wen Jiu nodded with a smile. Okay, you have worked so hard, I will treat you to a midnight snack later. Today's second update has also been delivered smoothly. Thank you every lovely little angel for your support. 030. Chapter 846 Sun Badeo has a backer too. Maybe it was because the security team had come to arrest someone before. The customers who followed were particularly polite and well behaved. Wen Jiu had been setting up the stall for nearly 2 hours. Although he didn't meet any big spending customers, he still earned nearly 100,000 star coins after adding up the orders one by one. Why don't you just stop opening a dessert shop and set up a stall full time in the Star Network world? Chujayan changed back to his previous image and put on a set of sportswear that looked quite youthful. The money you make from setting up a stall in one night, isn't it much more than what you make from a dessert shop? After saying that, Wen Jiu just shook his head indifferently. No, please take a long-term view, okay? A dessert shop doesn't make as much as setting up a stall, but what about 10 or 20? When the number of dessert shops increases, I can lie down and count star coins, so there's no need to set up a stall like now. Besides, this dessert shop can be opened as a chain, but there is only one fortune-telling stall. She was not a fool. Of course she knew that a fortune-telling stall made more money than a dessert shop. But the problem is that fortune-telling stalls cannot be chained and open branches, and she originally used the gimmick of scarcity as a gimmick. Although the talismans she sold were indeed effective and the price was within a reasonable range. But if her talismans could be bought everywhere on the street, why would customers have to patronize her fortune-telling stall? In short, fortune-telling stalls and dessert shops each have their own advantages. As a person who aspires to become the richest person in the Federation, she would of course choose to have both. Wen Jiu gang brought Chujayan into Taoiao when she received a message from Ming Yihan. Ming, president of Wuiao Food. This is the latest quarterly report of Wuiao Food. You can take a look. By the way, how is your dessert shop going? Do you need my help? She did not hide the fact that she opened a dessert shop from Ming Yihan because she felt that the other party was her partner, so she naturally had to be honest with him and could not hide anything. Jiu Yao Chuan Wangun, I will look at the quarterly report you sent later. I'm now running Taoiao's online store in the Star Network world. I don't need help, I can do it myself. While she was replying to Ming Yihan's message, she was thinking about where to recruit people. According to Lin Qi, there is a talent market in the Star Network world. Although she only wants to recruit a few people to sell goods, she still wants to find employees with good character. The workers provided by the talent market are all registered with real names. At least there will be no problems with their origins. As for character, she still has to rely on her discerning eyes to identify the pearls. Just as she was thinking quietly, she suddenly heard the crisp sound of a wind chime, which she hung at the door as a doorbell. In short, a customer entered the store. I'm sorry, our store hasn't opened yet. Chujayan walked forward very professionally. If you like, you can come back in a few days. After saying that, the young man who entered the store smiled slightly. I'm not here to buy anything. I'm here to see your boss. Wen Jiu, who was sitting next to her, wanted to ignore it anyway, since Chujayan, a dedicated employee, was here. However, she turned around curiously to take a look, because the voice of the person who came was familiar. The young man had a face as gentle as jade, and his whole body exuded the gentle aura of a gentleman. The gold-rimmed glasses inlaid with gems were placed on his straight nose, giving him a gentle and yet majestic aura. Mr. Ming Ming? She tried to ask in disbelief. Hearing this, Ming Yihan nodded and smiled. It's me. She really didn't expect Ming Yihan to find this place. Could it be that the other party has some hacking function to track people? But before she could ask, Ming Yihan took the initiative to explain. You didn't turn off the positioning. After entering the Star Network world, the location will be displayed on the homepage. As soon as the other party finished speaking, she suddenly realized it. This abominable positioning system almost made her vest fall off. Fortunately, she changed her previous virtual image after the store was finished. Otherwise, Ming Yihan would find out that Gong Zifake was her, and Sun Beidao was also her. How embarrassing it would be. Hey, who are you? Chujayan stood in front of Wen Jiu with some dissatisfaction. You are an adult, can't you be polite? How can you track a little girl? Seeing this, Ming Yihan leaned over with an apologetic look. Sorry, I should have told Zhao Wen before coming. He just wanted to come and see Wen Jiu's dessert shop. He thought that the other party's dessert shop was already open, so it would be no problem for him to follow the positioning and teleport here. Wen Jiu's dessert shop was still in the preparation stage, and he came here like a bad guy with bad intentions. If his sister was followed by a stranger, he would also treat him coldly, so he didn't blame Chu Jiaran for his bad attitude. TSK, don't call Zyro Wen all the time. Who are you? Chu Jiaran hasn't shown his thorny nature for a long time. Hearing this, Ming Yahan still maintained a humble and polite smile. Hello, my last name is Ming. I'm Zyro Wen's partner, and the person in charge of Wuiao food. Oh, the person in charge of Wuiao food, right? Chu Jiaran raised his eyebrows in dissatisfaction. Can a partner track Zyro Wen? A grown man should be more open and above board. Forget it this time. If you track Zyro Wen without permission again, I will let her tell your boss about it, and then it will be hard to say whether you can keep your job. He didn't know that the boss of Wuiao Food was actually Ming Yahan. He only knew that Wen Jiu did cooperate with Wuiao Food. So when he saw the person in charge tracking into the store, he came up with such words to suppress the other party's nose and face. As soon as he finished speaking, Ming Yahan sighed helplessly. He didn't mention his true identity just now because he was afraid that Chu Jiaran would be more dissatisfied. He never thought that the other party would use such words to pressure him. It seems that he is at risk of firing himself. Seeing this, Wen Jiu could only smile and say, okay, brother, that's enough. Mr. Ming didn't know about it beforehand, and he will definitely not do it again in the future. Humph, you only know how to speak for outsiders. I'm worried that you will be deceived. Chu Jiaran was still a little dissatisfied, but when he heard Wen Jiu calling him brother, the corners of his mouth rose involuntarily. Wen Jiu saw that Chu Jiaran's anger had subsided, so she looked at Ming Yahan and asked, Mr. Ming, is there something urgent that you came to see me? She thought that Ming Yahan was not a reckless person, so how could the other party suddenly track her coordinates? Hearing this, Ming Yahan first explained the reason for his visit, and then scanned the environment of Taoiao. Seeing that there was no employee in the store, he guessed that Wen Jiu should not have recruited anyone yet. So in order to make up for the mistake just now, he took the initiative to ask, has your online store not recruited employees yet? Today's third update was also delivered on time, thanks again to the little angels for their support. 030. Chapter 847. Ming Yahan suddenly appears. 1. Things were just as Ming Yahan guessed. Wen Jiu really hadn't recruited any employees for the online store yet. I'm planning to go to the talent market, she said, standing up. Mr. Ming, do you want to go with us? She thought that as a big boss, Ming Yahan must have a good eye for talent. That's right, she wanted to get even this kind of wool. It just so happens that I have nothing to do right now, so I'll go with you to the talent market. Ming Yahan agreed with a slight smile. I know a professional introducer. I can ask him to help you screen your resume. Hearing this, her eyes lit up and said, really? But if I find an introducer, how many star coins do I need? When Lin Qi told her about the existence of the talent market, he also mentioned that she could ask an introducer for help. It's just that finding an introducer costs a lot of star coins, so she put this matter behind her. Don't worry about that, Ming Yahan said as he opened the light screen panel. I have a good relationship with that person. He can do this job for free. Just as he finished speaking, Chu Jiaran's eyes revealed a trace of suspicion. Don't try to play any tricks to please my sister. There is no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Mr. Harry, we are both brothers. I won't use such tricks to deceive people, Ming Yahan explained, while sending a message. We Wuiao Food also want to do online sales, so we often interact with the introducer, and we become familiar with each other after a while. Although he didn't know, when Wen Jiu had a brother, he heard the other party call the young man in front of him Brother Harry, so he didn't ask more questions out of respect. Besides, he was the one who disturbed him rashly, so he naturally had to be more tolerant. It happened that the introducer he knew was online, so he asked the other party to teleport to Taoiao. A simple and honest young man appeared out of thin air, and the other party began to ask about Ming Yahan's well-being as soon as he saw him. Seeing this, Chu Jiaran snorted in disdain. Ahem, what should I call this gentleman? Wen Jiu took on the responsibility of warming up the atmosphere. As soon as she finished speaking, Ming Yahan quickly introduced, this is my friend, you can just call him Mr. Qin. Hello, Mr. Qin. She put on a warm smile. Mr. Ming said that you are an experienced introducer, and I hope you can help me find a few employees with good character. Her flattery made Mr. Qin smile, and he directly asked her what requirements she had for recruiting employees. After she finished her requirements, the other party immediately called up a few resumes that met the requirements and asked her to see if she was satisfied first. If not, he would change the batch. It must be said that, although Mr. Qin was very flattering to Ming Yahan, his business ability was indeed first class. Wen Jiu directly picked out 4 resumes that she thought were good from the first batch. Ming Yahan and Chu Jian, who were standing by, also helped her to look through the resumes. They all thought that these 4 resumes were the most suitable, so she decided to take the job. Because you are Mr. Ming's younger sister, and we got along very well, I won't charge you for this job. Mr. Qin first added her Xinguang account, and then added the 4 people she liked to a group, and then left Taoiao with a smile on his face. After the other party left, she began to chat with the 4 people she recruited. Jiu Yao Chen Wangun, since you don't have any questions, just teleport over to meet. Because the salary and benefits she offered were very good, the 4 people who were selected immediately agreed, and it was considered a perfect match. In just a few minutes, 4 strangers appeared in the store. They were the employees selected by Wen Jiu. Do you understand the salary and benefits? Do you want me to explain the work content again? She deliberately selected 2 men and 2 women, because it is not tiring to work with men and women. After the voice fell, the 4 people said in unison that there was no need to talk anymore. The main reason is that they all have experience as online store salesmen, and they can do the work Wen Jiu ordered them to do easily. If there are no problems, I will send you the contract later. Wen Jiu thought about it and decided to sign a formal contract. You can start working after signing it. I will come to the store to check every few days. Although she will only provide a part of Taoiao's desserts for tasting, she still doesn't want anyone to wrestle or steal the recipe. As the saying goes, you must be on guard against others. Hearing this, the 4 of them nodded again. In fact, they also hope to sign a formal contract, because only in this way can their rights and interests be protected. After all, the Star Network world is different from the real world. There are always some black-hearted bosses who run away after squeezing their employees. But in the real world, at least we know the real information and can go to your real star to sue for justice. In the Star Network world, there are always half-true and half-false, and the probability of being deceived is much higher than in the real world. Then Wen Jiu communicated with the 4 people and gave them a general explanation of the division of labor. You will be divided into 2 groups. One group will be outside to promote sales, while the other group will be responsible for looking after the store. This way it will be easier to take turns, and you can also take care of both the inside and outside of the store. You are mainly responsible for promoting sales, and I will make my own arrangements for shipping. You all have experience working in online stores, so you should know how to record information, right? These 4 people did not disappoint her, and all said that they had these skills. So after the communication, she sent these 4 employees away. Turning around, she saw Ming Yahan staring at her with interest. What's wrong? Did I say something wrong just now? She couldn't help but frowned in confusion. I think what I said was very good, and I didn't say anything wrong. After the other party finished speaking, he chuckled and said, you did say it very well, very much like a boss. I just suddenly thought of something, and I don't know how to tell you. Before Wen Jiu could say anything, Chu Jian spoke first. Although I'm very grateful that you helped my sister, if you don't know how to start, then don't say anything. Some things are better kept in your stomach. He was very dissatisfied with Ming Yahan's behavior of treating Wen Jiu as his younger sister. He, the brother, is still standing here. What right does the other party have to come and occupy the magpie's nest? Brother Hey, calm down. Wen Jiu hurriedly pulled the corner of his clothes. Mr. Ming, just say what you want to say. We are partners after all. The most important thing is to be honest with each other, and don't keep things in your heart. Seeing this, he snorted and retreated behind the other party with a cold face, quietly watching what shocking words Ming Yahan could say. But he never expected that Ming Yahan would actually say something earth-shattering. This is the first update of the day, please check it out. Little Angels. Chapter 848. Ming Yehan suddenly appears too. Huh? You want to invest in TOIAO? Wen Jiu looked at Ming Yehan in shock. Don't joke like that, I can't afford it. However, the other party's face was full of seriousness. Yes, I think TOIAO has a very good development prospect. So I want to be the first to get the moon and be an investor in TOIAO to get some dividends. It could be a little dividend, or it could be a billion points of dividends. This. Wen Jiu didn't know how to answer for a while. Because TOIAO has enough funds, in addition to her small treasury, she also has the big bank of Zizio. So theoretically, she doesn't need Ming Yehan's investment. But the question is, who would dislike too much money? Even if she doesn't need Ming Yehan's investment, she can borrow his connections. There is a saying that more friends mean more roads, and her goal is to open TOIAO all over the galaxy. If her connections are broad, this goal can be achieved as soon as possible. So after thinking for a while, she answered very sincerely, to be honest, I really want to agree to your proposal, but I already have an investor. After all, it was Zizio who joined the group first, so she naturally had to consider him. Hearing this, Ming Yehan said nonchalantly, it doesn't matter, there can be more than one investor. If you are willing to act as a matchmaker, I can talk to that investor. If the other party disagrees, then the matter will be dropped. In fact, he could guess that Wen Jiu would say this because the other party was a person with great potential, and there must be a good person who could recognize a good person, so he had already thought about how to answer. To be honest, he was quite curious about what kind of person would be as interested in Wen Jiu as he was. Then let me ask first, Wen Jiu said, and clicked on the light screen panel. I don't know if he is online now. It happened that Zizio had nothing to deal with tonight, and was bored at the moment. As soon as he received the message from Wen Jiu, he directly connected to the Star Network world. He wanted to see who was so bold as to try to snatch Wen Jiu away when he was not paying attention. Zizio teleported according to the coordinates sent by Wen Jiu, and he saw 3 tall men as soon as he opened his eyes. Who among you is Zio Wen? He had never seen Wen Jiu in the Star Network world, and he couldn't recognize which man was the other party. He felt that he could first rule out the green-haired gangster, because Wen Jiu would never use such a weird image. As for the remaining 2, one had an ordinary appearance and wore sportswear, but the aura around him was quite oppressive. The other had an outstanding appearance, and wore a khaki casual windbreaker. He could be sure that the other party had an extraordinary origin as soon as he looked at him. After looking around, he just couldn't tell who was Wen Jiu. Just when he was full of doubts, the green-haired thug suddenly said, Brother Yu, I'm here. Wen Jiu was speechless about Zizio's judgment. Is it difficult to recognize her with such bright green hair? Ming Yehan, who had never met her before, recognized her as soon as she came, but Zizio kept looking at her for a long time and couldn't recognize who she was. Your image is very distinctive. Zizio smiled awkwardly. I was just joking. How could I not recognize her? He thought there were competitors here, and he had to save his face. So he pretended that nothing happened and used the classic trick of changing the subject. Didn't you say that someone wanted to invest in TOIAO? Is it this gentleman in a casual windbreaker? He felt that he would never make a mistake this time. If he made a mistake again, he would perform a handstand shampoo for Wen Jiu. Fortunately, his judgment this time was quite accurate. The man in the casual windbreaker was indeed here to poach his girlfriend. Hello, Mr. Z. My last name is Ming, and I'm Zio Wen's partner in the food industry. Ming Yehan made a simple self-introduction. The young man in front of him raised his head slightly, with a rather arrogant attitude of a superior. Hello, Mr. Ming. I guess Zio Wen has introduced me to you. Zizio was particularly dissatisfied with what Ming Yehan had just said. I'm not only Zio Wen's partner, but also a partner in starting a business with her, and I'm also her neighbor next door. It's just a comparison of status. He has so many identities. Wen Jiu listened to Zizio's words, and she didn't know why, but she felt inexplicably ashamed. She felt like she was about to dig out a castle, and she really wanted to change the habit of being embarrassed for others. As soon as the other party finished speaking, the smile on Ming Yehan's face deepened. I didn't expect that Mr. Z and Xiao Wen have such a close relationship. It seems that I need to learn more from you in the future. Maybe I should find some free time to travel to planet 3047. That's not necessary. I heard that Mr. Ming is also starting a business. Why don't you focus on your career first? Ziziu slightly raised the silver glasses on the bridge of his nose. I really envy Mr. Ming for having free time to travel. Unlike me, I'm busy helping Xiao Wen earn more star coins every day. Seeing that the two people's words were full of swords and swords, Wen Jiu couldn't help but move his chair back. Seeing this, Chu Jian, who had been watching the fun silently, came over and whispered, I'm curious, how did you find two people who are similar, but not exactly the same? Do you have a strange hobby of collecting this type? What are you talking about? Wen Jiu turned around with a confused look on his face. What do you mean by collecting this type? As soon as she finished speaking, Chu Jian pointed at the two people in front of her. Don't you think they look alike? Although they both look like mature men who are abstinent, they are still very different in nature. Hearing this, she turned her head to look at Ming Yehan and Ziziu. I don't know what they were thinking. They didn't even use virtual images. Although the two were not wearing standard suits, they both had a mature and abstinent aura. I have to say, they are indeed very similar, but not exactly the same. One of them is gentle and elegant with gold-rimmed glasses, and the other is domineering with silver glasses. Throwing one of them out casually can attract thousands of girls to give their hearts. But, what does all this have to do with her? She just wants to earn star coins, okay? Brother Harry, stop having wild thoughts and trying to discredit me. Wen Jiu rarely put on a serious face. I have an ordinary cooperative relationship with them. After she warned Chu Jian seriously, she stood up and walked forward to stop the verbal war between Ming Yehan and Ziziu. If you want to talk about business, then talk about business. Don't argue like children, she said, pointing to the tables and chairs beside her. Sit down and have a good talk. Tell me what you think. With her words, Ziziu snorted, turned his head away, pulled out a chair and sat down. Ming Yehan on the side stopped talking and returned to his calm and gentle appearance. Today's second update is also delivered. Thank you little angels for your support and love. 030. Chapter 849. Ming Yehan suddenly appears 3. Because when Jiu expressed his desire to form a 3-person partnership, Ziziu and Ming Yehan could only have a friendly exchange. I can not only provide Teo with sufficient funds, but I can also use my connections to help Teo develop. Haha, I have funds and connections. If you want to poach someone and want to join, can you at least give me some other benefits? Since Xiao Wen asked us to speak frankly, Mr. Z, don't blame me for speaking bluntly. In terms of funds and connections, I believe Mr. Z does not lack them. But I have more funds and more connections. If Xiao Wen were to make the choice, I guess Xiao Wen would definitely favor me, right? That's not necessarily true. Don't you know Xiao Wen's character, Mr. Ming? Xiao Wen is not a person who only cares about interests. You use this kind of thinking to speculate Xiao Wen's thoughts. Is it possible that this is how you see Xiao Wen, Mr. Ming? The two began to argue while chatting, and when Jiu suddenly felt a headache. So she once again stopped the two from their childish behavior, and then got back to the point, and asked Ziziu and Ming Yehan to make a choice. Teo was originally her personal property, and she asked Ziziu only out of moral obligation. After all, the other party was Teo's investor, and she should explain to him before making a major decision. But in terms of shares, she still holds the majority, and if Ziziu insists on refusing, she can also reach a cooperation with Ming Yehan. But from a friend's perspective, she still hopes that Ziziu will agree, because Ming Yehan's investment will definitely have more advantages than disadvantages. So she hopes to achieve a win-win cooperation, rather than falling out over a small matter. Xiao Wen, I don't have any opinion about you, nor do I mean to contradict you. Ziziu immediately expressed his opinion after calming down. Although you only have one Teo now, you will definitely develop it into a brand in the future, and open chain stores all over the planet. Small businesses require partners to know each other well, let alone such a big business. Mr. Ming can bring a lot of benefits, but you and he are just netizens. Do you know his background? Aren't you afraid of being cheated out of your entire fortune by him? He didn't want Ming Yehan to join because he was not being upset, but because he could see that the other party was not a simple person. Those who can start from scratch and develop their careers are not so-called naive and innocent. To put it bluntly, he felt that Ming Yehan was very scheming and not a suitable person for cooperation. If he cooperated with such a person, Wen Jiu would be sold out and have to help count the money. Hearing this, Wen Jiu wanted to say a few words to help Ming Yehan, but when she thought about it carefully, she seemed to really not know the other party's background, which was a bit embarrassing. She only knew that Ming Yehan was the founder of Wuiao Food and was a brother of Ming Yu, who used to patronize her stall. As for other things, she really didn't know. Fortunately, Ming Yehan could understand Ziziu's thoughts. Some things are not convenient to discuss in the Star Network world. Why don't I go to planet 3047 in a few days, and the three of us can talk face to face? How about it? In fact, even if there was no today's incident, he planned to find time to go to planet 3047. Mainly, he wanted to meet Wen Jiu in reality and talk to him about opening up new markets. They will reach a long-term cooperation in the future, so it is better to meet on a realistic basis. Without waiting for Wen Jiu to speak, Ziziu agreed first. Okay, then I will add Mr. Ming as a friend on the Star Network. When your time is set, I, as the host, will arrange the itinerary. How about that? Okay, then I'll trouble Mr. Z. He naturally understood that Ziziu's words were full of meaning. The other party just didn't want him to go to Wen Jiu first, so he said these seemingly friendly words. However, they are all people who have been in the business world. He won't mind this little detail, and he won't be so tactless to say it out. Although Wen Jiu on the side thought that the two of them were a little strange, she didn't think much about it when she saw that Ziziu was finally willing to give in. It was getting late, so Ming Yehan found an excuse to go offline first, and Wen Jiu and others also left the Star Network world. Shishi, I'm going to the living room to look for Fox Baba. Wen Jiu saw that Kaio Shishi was still browsing the Star blog. After informing the other party, she walked out of the bedroom lightly. The lights in the living room were not turned off, and the bright yellow light was very warm. Hu Kiki and Hu Baba each occupied one end of the sofa, and neither disturbed the other. However, the two little foxes had returned to their original forms, and were licking their paws to wash themselves. Seeing this, she strode forward and said, Hu Baba, I'm going to arrange a new job for you. As soon as she finished speaking, Hu Baba and Hu Kiki stopped licking immediately, and the two little foxes ran to her in unison. Boss, tell me what you want me to do. I'll go through fire and water for you. Hu Baba sat down with anticipation in his eyes, and his two little paws drooped in front of her chest. But before Wen Jiu could speak, Hu Kiki on the side mocked, with your ability, that can't even beat a dog. You still go through fire and water. It's good enough that you don't push my master into the fire pit and send him to the mountain of knives. At least I don't say. Hu Baba retorted a few words, not to be outdone. Unlike some foxes who have now cultivated into spirits, they can't even change the habit of speaking with, as if they are afraid that others don't know that they are fox spirits. In terms of combat power and talent, she can't compare with Hu Kiki, but in terms of other skills, she is still better. For example, when it comes to pleasing humans, her sweet words can be said to be unmatched. But Wen Jiu is an exception in this regard. Her boss has an immune skill. And when it comes to verbal battles, Hu Kiki's stupid look is completely no match for her. Alright, stop arguing. Wen Jiu held down a fox with one hand. Listen to me and stop bickering. When she was in the sect, she was the one who talked the most. Who knew that her group of friends would talk several times more than her? After the two little foxes calmed down, she briefly explained the matter. In fact, it was not a big deal. She just planned to let Hu Baba be responsible for shipping. Because Taoiao store has sufficient staff, she was thinking about what kind of work to arrange for Hu Baba during this period of time. After she recruited employees for Taoiao online store tonight, she suddenly thought of the need for someone to be responsible for shipping and packing. so she thought about it and decided to let Hubbaba do it. Anyway, the online store will prepare the shipping form, and Hubbaba only needs to learn how to pack and send it by express. Today's third update has also been delivered on time. Thank you all for your support again. 030. Chapter 850. You know what a hot man won. I will negotiate the price with the logistics company. Then there will be robots picking up the items every day. You just need to learn how to read the list, pack, and ship them. Wen Jiu gave Hubbaba a brief introduction to the job content. Hubbaba was smart and understood it after just one lesson. Then she asked Hubbaba a few questions, and he answered them fluently. She returned to the bedroom very satisfied. It was late at night, and Kyoshi was still working hard for Zuan Rude's album data. But she was so sleepy that she covered herself with a quilt and fell asleep. However, Wen Jiu, who was sleeping, didn't know that, while she was sleeping, someone was thinking about her. Unknown planet. Command Lu, are you really not going to have a bite? This pheasant is so delicious and fragrant when roasted. Captain Zhang wrapped a roasted golden chicken leg with washed leaves. He had roasted a whole pheasant and specially tore it off to give to Lu Yan to enjoy. He often goes out on missions and pays more attention to his appetite, so he has an extraordinary skill in barbecue. Many of his soldiers were looking forward to him distributing chicken, but after roasting it, he came to Lu Yan with a chicken leg. After fighting side by side for several days, he is now convinced by Lu Yan and even regards him as an idol. Thank you, I don't want to eat. Lu Yan sat alone on the edge of the campfire. The firelight shone on his well-defined face, fading the indifference in his eyes and adding a sense of warmth of worldly fireworks. Hearing this, Captain Zhang still did not give up and persuaded, Command Lu, just have a bite. This chicken is delicious. They stayed in this primeval forest for many days, but Lu Yan insisted on drinking nutrient solution instead of food, and never participated in the campfire dinner held spontaneously by the soldiers. So he specially invited Lu Yan today, to let him participate in their activities. Who knew that this person came, but just sat quietly by the side playing with dolls. He neither ate, nor participated in the conversation, as if he was alone in another world. If it was going to be like this, he thought Lu Yan might as well not come. You eat. I don't like to eat. The other party didn't even raise his head, and rejected him again. Seeing this, Captain Zhang couldn't help but ask curiously, Command Lu, you wouldn't just sit here and play with dolls, would you? Tell me, where did you buy the doll in your hand? It's very finely made and looks cute. After he finished speaking, Lu Yan raised his head and replied calmly, a friend gave it to me. Is it a gift from your girlfriend? Captain Zhang was a very outgoing person and wanted to get closer to Lu Yan. When he saw that there was a topic to talk about, he quickly climbed up the pole. Before I left, my wife also gave me something and told me to take a look when I miss her. I wondered what was so good about it. If I really missed her, I could just make a video call, but she insisted on giving me a little toy to carry with me. He talked a lot, and Lu Yan's originally cold expression softened. This made him certain of his guess, that the other party's doll was really a gift from his girlfriend. But it was normal to think about it. At Lu Yan's age, he was just beginning to fall in love, so it was inevitable that he would miss her. He was a little surprised. Even with such an indifferent personality, the other party would have a soft side. Command Lu, why don't you make a video call to your partner? He saw that Lu Yan's delicate eyebrows were all soft, so he gnawed on the chicken leg and gave the other party a few suggestions as a person who had experienced it. It's not a good idea to keep playing with dolls. It's better to say what you want to say. Hearing this, Lu Yan just shook his head. It's not a partner, it's a friend. Captain Zhang sighed when he heard this, thinking that he was really young and embarrassed to admit his feelings, and he played such a trick on him. He thought that he was like this in the past. When the elders asked him about his love life, he frantically denied that he had no love life and said that he only wanted to pursue his career. In fact, he was in love with his wife at that time, but he was embarrassed to tell the elders he knew. It seems that this young commander is not so out of touch with the world, and the other party will also hide his feelings. In this regard, they are quite similar. Just as Captain Zhang was thinking about how to get close to Lu Yan, the other party put away the doll, stood up, and left the camp after saying that he was going to answer a phone call. Seeing this, he was confused for a moment, and then he suddenly realized it. It seems that Lu Yan finally listened to him, and secretly ran to the grove to call his girlfriend. Thinking of this, he put on a meaningful smile, and sighed in his heart that it was good to be young. After the bonfire party is over, he will also call his wife, to recall the good old days. However, Lu Yan did not know what Captain Zhang was thinking. He hurried away, just to answer a call from someone. He found a remote location, and then clicked the icon to connect. Father. Although he was very reluctant to communicate with Lu Wenhu, some things were beyond his control. He had not grown up to the point of breaking free from the cage, so he could only keep a low profile. After a few seconds, a deep and gentle voice sounded in his mind. I've read the mission report you submitted. It's very well done. Hearing this, he just responded indifferently without saying anything else. Lu Wenhu asked some more questions about the mission, and he simply answered the other party in a cold voice. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. He estimated that the time was almost up, so he wanted to find a reason to hang up the phone. But before he could open his mouth, he heard Lu Wenhu's voice. I heard from others that you seem to treat that girl named Wen Jiu differently. If I remember correctly, she is the seedling who assisted you in completing the clearing plan. In an instant, he felt cold all over. As soon as the other party finished speaking, he quickly denied the previous sentence. As for the latter question, because the previous clearing plan was recorded in the book, if he denied it, he would definitely be found out, so he generously admitted it. After he finished speaking, Lu Wenhu did not speak, and the other party just slowly knocked on the table, making a rhythmic and crisp sound. This silence lasted for a full minute before Lu Yan heard Lu Wenhu's voice again. I'm glad you're willing to defend this girl, but you're still too young to completely hide your thoughts and emotions. Today's first update has been successfully delivered. Please check it out. Little Angels. Whisper. There will be an update of 20,000 words on the 18th. Let the little angels read it all at once. W equals. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.